Welcome to Bourbon Beards and Belvederes. I'm Adam,
And I'm Paul.
And I'm Jerry.
and today we got a very special guest with us. We're not going to do a review except for his products. So, without further ado, would you kindly introduce yourself, please?
Hey, thanks for having me. My name is Jacob Bain. I am about to be middle-aged. I started my company a couple of years ago because of the stuff that happened during COVID. My wife had a issue with severe eczema on her hands. So I started looking into how to make a natural remedy for her eczema issues. Came up with a really great product that she never has flare-ups anymore. And out of that came a really good beard oil, herbally infused beard oil. It's definitely different from 99.9% of the companies out there on the market. I'm also a dad to four. I'm a Marine veteran. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the time being. I'm looking forward to talking to you guys and answering any questions you may have.
We appreciate you joining us. So, first and foremost, we do center around veteran-owned companies and anything of the like that when we possibly can. So, just want to thank you for your service. We've got a lot of respect for veterans. Unfortunately, none of the three of us are veterans ourselves, but we do our part whenever we possibly can. So, again, thank you. I can't thank you enough.
Thank you.
So, a little bit about that before we get on to COVID and your beard products. When did you join the Marine Corps? Can you or would you like to talk about where you were stationed or deployed? Anything like that? We always like to hear that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so I was in 3rd Battalion in Parris Island. Graduated June 25th of 99. Went to Marine combat training up in Camp Geiger, Camp Lejeune area. Went out to 29 Palms for my MOS school. I was a naval messenger, a 2542 and a 4066, which is data systems. Spent 2.5 months in the desert. Went out to Kaneohe Bay, Hawaii, which sounds luxurious and beautiful, and it was, but that base is old at the time. It was not luxurious, but it was beautiful. And started the process of, I had knee surgery when I was in, and started the process of discharge. And 3 months after 9/11, the Marine Corps said, "You cannot run. You do not need to be here." And I said goodbye on January 4th, 2002. It was interesting times. 9/11 obviously happened. We just had the anniversary to that. It's always very bittersweet time of year. Not only to all the people that died in the towers in Pennsylvania and in Washington D.C., but not to get into conspiracy at all, but all the people that subsequently died in the wars that we fought. Do we actually know why we were there now?
Right.
And it's tough for the veteran community that's a bitter pill to swallow at this point. All the lives that were lost. I did not go to the Middle East in any way, shape, or form. My unit went about 6 months after I was discharged. I think anybody in that situation would feel guilt. I did. But about 1.5 years after I got out, I met my wife. I met her on her 18th birthday. I refused to meet her. We met on AOL. I refused to go meet her face-to-face until she turned 18. And we've been together ever since. She just turned 40. So, yeah, we've been together a long time, married for 18 years. But I wouldn't trade that experience in any way at all. I enjoyed what I did. I enjoyed the time that I spent there. I was a dodo bird there because I got along with all the locals, and that was very rare. And I was kind of a quasi-adopted into a Hawaiian family that I still considered to be family. even after all this time, because I didn't go there to be a jerk. I went out there to, be a good person and still serve my country, but also learn who the people were that we were around. Um, I wouldn't trade that time in for the world. Would I do some things differently? Of course, as you get older and you get wiser, there's always things that you would do differently. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But that just made me who I am, and it prepared me to be a husband and a father. So those life lessons are invaluable, and I wouldn't trade them for the world.
Well, again, we at the risk of sounding redundant, we thank you for your service. It's amazing, and we really appreciate it. So
yeah.
So tell us about your company. What's the name of the company?
So company's name is Bain Blends. My last name is Bain. We went through about 18 months of just kind of product development. We have a puppy that is not even 4 months old. He's barking in the background. Sorry about that. But we went through about 18 months of product development. I made the salve for my wife and got her something other than topical steroids, which I don't know if you guys know, the topical steroids are not good for the human body. They can turn on you in a minute. It can cause all sorts of problems. It can even kill you. So I wanted her off those steroids as soon as I could. But so we were nameless, and after I decided to form the company, I had my wife's crazy friend Lisa. My wife's from Staten Island. She's still up in Staten Island. So crazy friend Lisa, who was in our wedding, I put it out on Facebook. She goes, "You need to drive your ego and just call it Bain Blends." I said, "I don't have much of an ego, but that's what I'm going to do." But looking back on it, it was probably one of the best things that could have been done, because a lot of companies develop a legacy outside of some sort of thing that's personal. This company name is personal. And, my 17-year-old son helps with making some product. My daughter helps label product. My 8-year-old, he'll walk around in a coat and a cowboy hat and pass out business cards when we go to Costco. I mean, my wife runs the business during the day when I'm working my normal job. She fills orders. It's become a family affair. So that aspect of it's been very important, because, you're not just building a company, you're building a potential family legacy. If we have that much time, if we have the ability to keep it going, there's more to it than just a company name, So crazy friend Lisa, she gave us the idea, and that's what we ran with. So we there's an artist locally that it doesn't really have anything to do with too much with Bain, but he does mixed art. He'll do like guys from the Colonial War. They'll have AR-15s, but the tri-point hat. Beautiful, beautiful artwork this guy does, but it's all patriotic. He'll have monks with a prayer that has a sword. Like, he does all sorts of really rad stuff. And he did this piece of art for me, and gave me a sweet discount on it. And that's this is Bain right here on my hat. And we're developing some stuff to kind of go around that, but yeah, I'm just hoping that I can pass it along to my kids and get them to see the value of it, because it is for them too. It's not just for me.
Yeah. So real quick, just to throw it back to the Marine Corps, you said 3rd Battalion. I went looking for this picture of my dad. I don't know if you can see that real well there.
Yeah, which one?
My dad, my grandfather.
I see it. I gotcha. I see it.
3rd Battalion H Company. So, like I said, he was there at Paris Island. When you said that,
I was a Mike company.
I'm sorry.
I was a Mike company.
Okay. Yeah. So that's awesome. That hat is awesome. That little design that's on there. That guy definitely does some cool stuff. I'll have to We'll have to get his name from you at some point so I can go
For
look
sure.
at. Maybe he's got some stuff online. But
Moreshki Illustration, Moreschchi. I'll send it to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I'm sure Jerry's got a whole list of stuff there, questions and whatnot. So I'm gonna turn it over to Jerry.
Yeah. So you said you decided to start because of the eczema and all the other skin stuff. How many, when you launched the brand, how many products did you originally have?
We had the eczema and psoriasis salve, and we had like 3 oils. The man cave, lumberjack, and lime bergamot, and that was pretty much it. We had started the development of the deodorant and a couple of butters using similar principles. The deodorant's much more simple. You know, it doesn't have the herbal infusion in it, but it is still a very clean deodorant. Less is more in some of these instances. You don't need a lot of stuff to kill bacteria. You just need simple products or simple ingredients. But so at first, September of 2 years ago, we had about maybe 4 or 5 products. Within about a month, we had a whole bunch of butters that we had come up with, maybe 3 or 4 more scents, but it was pretty basic. Within a few months of that, I got into this local series of markets called Detweiler's Farmers Market. They have 4 or 5 really decent sized grocery stores. And I'm in 3 of their 4 health and wellness departments selling the salve, deodorant, a couple of oils, and a couple of butters. Yeah, I think 4, maybe 5 products from the very beginning. Nothing crazy. And just started getting in the hands of friends, asking guys at my church to try the oils and getting their feedback and sort of, handing stuff out. What do you like? What do you not like? Here's the principle behind it. Does anybody have any eczema issues? Passing out the eczema stuff and seeing how it helped people. Yeah, I mean, basic, simple, nothing frivolous, although the products are difficult and time consuming to make. But we've locked that down too, of course. But we laid the groundwork for being able to do more quickly. The oil that I make is in everything I make except for the balm and the deodorant. So when I make 500 ounces, I'm doing it all at once, and that is the baseline for almost everything I make. The eczema and psoriasis salve has a more complicated oil that I build for that with more ingredients, and it takes longer, but same principle. It gets infused, I strain it, I pour it, I put the essential ingredients in it, and then over an hour or so it cools down. I whip it, I mix it, I package it, and it's done. But yeah, we started off very simple. The original labels I don't have any in here, but the original labels are that craft paper, brown craft paper labeling. And 6 months trying to figure out how to make stupid labels. Some of the things that I struggle with now are so far beyond what I was struggling with back then. It was so simple, the struggles I was having. And now it's like, that feels like forever ago. It feels like 10 years ago that we were having those problems. But what's funny is that a lot of people in the bearded community that start their own businesses all have the same struggles. All of us. And it's been a blessing to be able to help a lot of these newer companies. I've helped them with labeling. I've helped them with product development. I've helped them with their deodorant. I've helped them, I haven't helped them with the salve. That one's mine. But I have helped them try to make a better product that helps people, So, 4 or 5 baseline products. And I still have those products today. I haven't pulled those, so they're still there.
Yeah, we'll get into that later, but I'm pretty sure I counted like 31 cents for oils, and that doesn't include the deodorant and the salve and the beer, the butters and balms and all that. So,
Can you say that again, Jerry?
What was that?
Can you say that again?
Which one?
Salve. Say that again.
Salve?
Salve. Oh, sorry.
Salve. I've never heard anybody say salve. So he really put an emphasis. Really put an emphasis on that. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But before, yeah, we've been talking about this in infusion and everything. I guess we got to get into that before we get too far deep into this. But yeah, the base beard oil is that herbal infused avocado oil. Then you got the sweet almond, jojoba, rosehip, apricot kernel oil, argan, squalene, hemp seed, black cumin seed, pumpkin seed, aloe vera, castor grape seed, organic cold pressed virgin coconut oil, vitamin E, and shea butter. And then there's, what was it, like 17 different herbs that went into that that avocado oil, which I'll throw a little picture up here when we go to edit it, just because there's so much into it. Which I'm gonna grab it from your website, which actually includes like why you picked them and like what they help out with, which is pretty cool. But how did you come up with the thought of infusion? Like, was it, and did you always have the 17, or was it like a trial and error until you got to where you are today?
So we really like the Tennessee Valley area. We go to Blue Ridge, Georgia quite a few times a year. We haven't lately because of my heart issues that I've been recovering from. But McKaysville, Tennessee, right along the border of Georgia, like you drive like this and you're going in and out of Georgia and Tennessee to get to this place. We went there and picked out, with the help of the owner, a whole bunch of different herbs, made a couple different packs of a whole bunch of different herbs that could help my wife with her issue, could help me with my rosacea issues, mainly for her problems though. And the issue that we had was how to extract it. So if you know anything about tinctures, you do that with alcohol, right? You can't use it on your skin. So the other issue was how to get this into oil. So I can't give everything away because it is sort of a unique thought. And I try to help other businesses as they come to me and ask. But I figured out a way to heat extract the herbs in the oil consistently over the course of a couple of days. When I figured that out, we were able to get all that stuff out of the herbs infused into the oil to transfer the properties of those herbs into the oil. So then I would just make sure that everything was nice and masticated, very powdered like, strain it, get everything out of the oil that I possibly could as far as the powders, whatever. Some of that does end up in the oil, but it's minimal. And, certain herbs, just say rosemary, for example, is antimicrobial, but it also helps grow your hair, right? If I had nothing else in my oil, it would be rosemary. It's one of the best hair growth herbs you can possibly use. But there's other herbs in there that help create a protein around your hair, right? So that way your hair, your beard will have a natural slip to it. It won't tangle. It'll flow well. You won't slip your fingers through it or a comb through it. There's other herbs that are antimicrobial. There's some that are antifungal. There are some that help make your pores clean. There's all sorts of different things that they do. And a lot of them are kind of overkill. There are some that do the same thing as another, but because they're different, they help differently. They sort of build upon each other and they help each other. So the same, you probably will ask, but what pumpkin seed oil. Pumpkin seed oil in and of itself should not be in beard oil. But when you put pumpkin seed oil with a bunch of other oils, it makes those other oils more effective. They work better. So I started building it going, well, I should use this herb. What's the price? It does this. Can't exclude it. And I kept doing that. I could have put 40 different herbs in there. There's so many. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But for price, per ounce, per pound, what they did, they extend the life of the oil. Rosemary naturally extends the life of the oil to years, right? The shelf life extends for years in the oils. Now I wouldn't do that, but I can comfortably get 18 months to 2 years out of an oil, and I feel good about it. I could do 5. I won't, but I could. So there's a lot of reasons to do this infusion, but it's simple: time or heat and time. So if you have rosemary, which you can heat up to like 200 degrees and it'll be fine, but you have another, like one of the flowers, jasmine, that's in there, can only go up to 140, you stay at 140. And you infuse over the course of a couple of days at 140. And at the end of a couple of days of that, or sitting in my climate controlled storage unit for several months, it's infused, it can be strained, it can be added to other oils. You have a medicinal quality herbal oil that I've only seen one other company do, and they had maybe 3 or 4 herbs in it. And that was it.
Now, how do you come up with your scent profiles? Is it something you're targeting, or are you just mixing different herbs and kind of, well, this smells nice, let's get some scent profiles off of the label type of deal? It's like chicken or the egg.
Yeah. Well, there's been quite a few ideas that have come from the bearded community, you know, and hey, we want a tobacco, or hey, we want, you know, we want a fragrance only, or we want essential oil only, or we want a mixture of the two. So it has to work with the herbal oil, right? So we got this cologne dupe from Tom Ford, Tobacco Oud, fantastic company that makes the dupe. And we brought it. We bought a small 1 ounce bottle to try it and see how it worked with the herbal oil, and it worked. You know, we might mix that with a Santal, or maybe another type of oud, or maybe we find an essential oil that works with it. And we add a few drops just to kind of enhance it. So, but everything has to work with that baseline oil. So we'll find something that we like, and we've got probably 400 bottles of essential oil and fragrance oil mixtures, or fragrance oils. And we have probably 175 scent ideas that we could make tomorrow that work with that herbal oil. Unfortunately, not everything will work. And we've come up with some things that just we didn't like. But I'm very picky about what I put on my beard. And I've had beard oil that I bought way before I started doing this business, because I hated the itch. I got headaches. Leather smelled like chlorine. A whole host of issues. There's cherries that give me a headache instantly. And everything we do now is based off of, if I buy that sample bottle and I smell it and it triggers whatever is wrong with my head, it doesn't get used, and we toss it. Now, we could make a whole bunch of stuff that guys may like, but if I have that problem, maybe your spouse has that problem, or maybe you walk into a grocery store and someone is severely allergic to something that triggers that issue with their nose, and they go to the hospital. There are people like that, and I've met them. We had a lady at our job. She had to work from home for years because if she walked within 30 or 40 feet of someone wearing even a tiniest amount of perfume, she would go into anaphylactic shock.
Damn.
So that problem is getting worse. It's not getting better. There are more and more people having that problem now, and that's one of the reasons why there's the IRFA guidelines that Europe has. You should only put so much scent into so much oil. So for me, like the bottle that you guys had, the Lemon Bourbon Blaze, that's only about 2.5 milliliters of scent in a 30 milliliter bottle, right? It's nothing. There's guys in the community that scent up to 5 mils in their bottles. Safe, I think, is about 3.5. There are companies that don't pay attention to that because it's a European recommendation. It's not an American recommendation. But then you have also the issues with artificial vanilla. There's a lot of companies out there that don't care about that. I do. I buy from fragrance oil or essential oil companies that meet specifications so people don't have those reactions, right? So we build everything off, back to your question, we build everything off the herbal oil. There's a lot of give and take as the decisions that we make, but a lot of it is, will I get a friggin' migraine off of it? And I have gotten stuff as gifts from other guys in the community. I will not say who they are because I love them and I care about them. Their oil goes in the garage. I opened it. It goes straight there. I've had leathers that smell like chlorine and they smell like a pool that's getting fresh chlorine in it. I've had cherries that smelled like rotten cough syrup immediately in the garage. So I don't want to do that to people. Again, I don't treat my beard oil as anything other than an herbal medicinal treatment for your face. Because I want your face to be better than it was before, because I also want your spouse, your daughter, your son to be able to take that oil, and if they have an acne flare up, they can put some on their face. I mean, my kids use my beard oil, not even the psoriasis and eczema style. They use my beard oil on their face, and it helps treat their breakouts. So, for me, there's a little bit of a higher purpose other than just dumping some fragrance in a bottle. You know what I mean? But the one that you had there, that was an idea from somebody else. And I said, I have lemonade that we just made. I got this drunken brownie and I had this Cuban tobacco. Let's put them all together. And after that dry down, it's nice, but you got to get past the dry down. That 30 minutes is rough on that one. And I recognize that. I do. So
for this one, that herbal infusion comes out real strong. Like we said, like 30 minutes, maybe an hour, depending on how your nose takes it. But once that dies down, it starts out like this nice, like lemony vanilla, a little bit of like tobacco in there. And I didn't notice it until, because I wore this, I don't know, about 2 weeks. I think I got like one, after sampling out to the other guys, I got like maybe one, maybe two applications left. So I wore it for about 2-3 weeks. And not until, 2 days ago? All of a sudden I'm like, I smelled chocolate. And I went back to this and I see on there, you put chocolate. I was like, I'd never smelled that one before. And it finishes with like, almost like a campfire smoke, like a little smokiness to it, which kind of rounds it out really nice. But yeah, that herbal stuff, once you get past that, it's fantastic. And it's not like it's a bad smell to me, and to my wife. It smelled like I was making like spaghetti with pasta sauce with some that herbs. But once that dissipated, it was fine. At first I was kind of scared. I'm like, if I'm gonna just put pasta sauce, I want it to say pasta sauce on the label. But like I said, it dissipated within that like 30 minutes, and it's still there, but it's not. It works well with everything, like the earthiness of the tobacco and the vanilla bourbon scent and everything like that. It actually works out well with it. I was really pleased with this one. So
agreed.
You're telling that rosemary can kick. I've actually been talking to a couple other guys, and I'm going to try to figure out how to reduce the effect of the rosemary and the oil. But the rosemary is so good for your beard. It's one of those trade-offs for me. It's like you cannot have it, but then is it going to do the same for your beard? It's a hard trade-off for me. I actually just put extra rosemary in it for a guy that's really struggling with his beard. I just put extra because he's losing his fur. His facial fur's falling off. And it's stress and probably a bunch of other things. But I said, I'm going to give you an unscented one. I'm going to add a whole bunch of extra rosemary in there for you. Yes, child. Okay. So, and I do apologize. I don't smell it anymore. Like, it doesn't affect me anymore. But there's some guys in the community that can actually smell it. I'm actually happy that you can smell it, to be fair. But there's some guys in the community that just can't smell it, and that they're killing their noses with scent every day, man. They're putting so much fragrance on their face they can't smell anything else anymore, and that's not good for you either.
Hmm.
Imagine getting a really good glass of bourbon or whiskey and not being able to smell it. Like, some of these guys have that problem because they're dousing their faces 1, 2, 3, 5 times a day with cologne or beard oil. That's not good for you. It's just not. And a lot of these guys don't understand that. They just don't get it. And look, I'm nothing special, man. I am doing something different, but I'm nothing special. I'm just a guy that saw a problem trying to figure out a way to solve it, right? But the niche that I'm filling is difficult. And, I want people to be happy with what I make. And, like, that herbal backdrop is a problem. But
it's not bad. Like, it's not like it turns me away from the oil. It should. I wasn't, when I first opened the jar, I wasn't expecting it. I'll put it that way. But after the second, third time I went into it, like, oh, it's there, it's nice, and it dissipates. And I just went back to it. Like I said, there's a little bit in there now. I don't know if I got used to it or if it just kind of faded away, but it doesn't seem to be in there. There's a little bit of like that earthiness from some herbs in there, but it's that mainly that lemon vanilla scent in that bottle right now. So it definitely dissipates over time. So
I think you probably would have been better off getting the bourbon blaze as opposed to the lemon bourbon blaze. The bourbon blaze is one of my favorites by a long shot. It just doesn't have that real sharp lemon and lemongrass wallop that one has, because that hits your nose hard. Like, it hits my nose hard too, the lemon bourbon blaze.
I that's usually, so I typically stay towards like the cologne style scents or something like that. Adam likes more of the tobacco vanilla scent, and then Paul, he's all over the place.
I really like the lemon scent. I mean, this one was right up my alley. I like lemon. I like herbals and mint, blueberry, and just kind of weird scents, because everybody has tobacco, everybody has a bourbon, that kind of thing.
Do you like cherry?
Love cherry. Yep. Yeah. And so I really liked this one. It was bright. That initial herbal pop. There was a brightness to it, though. Like, I really liked it a lot. And the lemon kind of fades into what Jerry just said. It's like a chocolate bar. I mean, I have it. I put it in this morning after a shower, and you can still smell like this smoky chocolate bar in my beard, which is awesome, because the scent kind of evolves too, which is really cool. It's not. I didn't get that until a few hours after each time I put it in. I don't get that. No, it's nice, and all the scents throughout that whole evolution I've really enjoyed with just this one alone.
There's a guy named the Bearded Texan. His name is Chris. Super cool guy. I had to convince him to get the bourbon blaze. He goes, it has chocolate. I hate chocolate. I said, Chris, just trust me. And he got it, and he said, dude, this is one of my favorite beard oils. He's like, the chocolate's there, but it's perfect. He goes, it fits and complements the scent profile so well. And again, it's just like, we're finding great companies that make really killer fragrances, and we're just building these fragrances out to make a really cool scent profile. That's my wife, by the way. She's the nose by a long shot. I mean, she's Italian, man. She make. That's probably why it smells like pasta. So I had one guy buy lumberjack. He goes, I thought I was eating turkey dinner. I'm like, come on, man. But then another guy got it, and he goes, dude, this is right up my alley. It smells like a pine forest, like you're walking through cedar and fresh rain. He goes, it smells incredible. And that was essential oil. So, but it has clary sage in it, which is probably why it smells like turkey dinner to another guy, And I can't control somebody else's nose, but I respect it. Like, everybody has their own scent profiles they like or dislike. One guy will like foodie stuff, key lime pie, which I have. One guy loved it. Peach cobbler, the guy I have, the guy loved it. Pineapple upside down cake, he loved it. But some of the other stuff, the colognes that I make, he hated it. And yet another guy loved all of them. And it's just, I've just come to appreciate how different everybody is, which is why I offer kind of a wide variety of different scent profiles, because I'm trying to make sure that I have something for everybody in the community,
Yeah, like going through 31 scents range everything from this one, mahogany oak, which is mahogany, lavender, vetiver, oak moss, cedar wood, and oak. And then you got like the one we have, the lemon bourbon blaze, and then you got burnt orange and I think I saw a s'mores one in there, and then the key lime and lemonade, and one that I didn't notice before, but you got a Mai Tai scented one, a mint chocolate chip, orange sherbet, the peach cobbler. If there's a scent, it's probably in this little lineup somewhere.
It's like going to Baskin Robbins.
I was looking through it earlier, and I was like, holy shit, like there's a bunch in there. And then there's that smoked cherry, which is cherry, Cuban tobacco, vanilla, and sandalwood, which is right up Paul's alley there.
It smells so good.
It sounds like it might be up my alley too.
It smells so good. I hated cherry until I started messing with them and making them, and now I just freaking love them. So,
and that's a note that Paul and I actually really appreciate in our bourbons as well. We're both big fans of Old Forester, and you get you a glass of Old Forester, you're going to get some cherry. That's just all the way, just the way it is. But going back to something that you said earlier, well, a train of thought that you had earlier, with the care that you put into, the oils and what have you. I don't think we've had a number of people on this show and that make products, and we respect all of them, and they all make good products. For full disclosure, we had one product on here that we thought was good. We later found out that it wasn't. We did a show after the fact to go back and basically trash that product because we gave it such a good review the first time, and then we were like, holy shit, this makes our face feel awful and nobody should buy this. So we made sure to let everybody know, do not buy this based on our recommendation. But everybody else, we do our homework before we have people on. But I don't think we've had anybody break it down quite so scientifically. As far as, like you said, rosemary extends the life of the oil, and you've got, don't what would you say, orange oil, or no, what was it? Should never be in a beard oil by itself. You said pumpkin. There you go. Yeah. But once you combine it with others, it enhances the performance of those other oils and things like that. I don't think anybody's ever actually broke it down quite so granularly, which that should actually give our listeners some confidence in buying these products, because this gentleman put so much thought and care into the products that he's putting out there. I'm sure the others that we've had on this show do as well. In fact, I know they do. But just having that extra knowledge to throw out there for folks to hear, that's awesome. That's great. I really enjoyed listening to that part of what you were saying.
Yeah, and you got it. I mean, I printed it out. He has it listed on his website where the 15 herbs and the benefits for each one. And I printed it out because I'd never seen that before on anybody's site. I was kind of interested going through a lot of things I didn't really. You see it on the label a lot of times, but you don't actually know what marshmallow root does and things like that. So it was really interesting and, informing and transparent, and, just I really like that.
And that's not even a comprehensive list. I mean, if we were to use Google AI or whatever to break down the full comprehensive list, some of those herbs have 30 benefits.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, I wanted to be as transparent as possible because this is not something that really anybody else has done. To some degree, I've seen some products that have some infusion in it, but it's been like 1 or 2, maybe 3 herbs. Yeah, no, it is unique, and it does come with a little bit of a hazard because if I go to DNC tomorrow and say I want you to review my product, does he have the same response that you guys have, where he gets that in his beard and his visceral reaction is, well, this smells like, one guy said turkey dinner. You said, I don't remember what you said, but you have to get past that initial reaction. And with the stuff I make, it's you're reforming somebody's thought process on something that you're putting on your face. A lot of these guys just go, ooga, in my face, ooga, smell good, right? I'm not, you should see the chats I'm in with some of these guys. Does it smell strong? Yes. I want to walk into a room and knock somebody over. Does my face not itch? Yes. Then I'm happy. But there's a lot more to it. There is a lot more to it. And a lot of people don't realize how much more you can get benefit-wise. But again, like I said, if I go hand a bottle to my daughter who's got an acne flare-up, my unscented, or maybe one of them with essential oils, would I feel good to give her that bottle under conditions that maybe white labeling an oil? The answer would be no. I would never do that. But I know that she's going to get my oil. It's going to help her with her acne flare-up for whatever reason. And I know that at the end of the day, what I am making for her is good for her. So baseline philosophy is that. Is what I'm making good for you? Does it have a benefit? And the answer is yes. And just to give you a little bit more background on this, a bottle of oil from start to finish is very, very time consuming. If we were to look at how much per bottle this should cost me, or I should charge based off what some other companies are, I should be in the $30 range per ounce. Mm-hmm. And I'm not. I'm charging $20.
Yeah. I was going to get into that here in a second. Yeah.
I will shut up now.
No, I was going to say
before we do, I don't want to lose my train of thought. The eczema treatment that you were making for your wife, is that something that you're offering? And I asked because my daughter has eczema, and I would love. Oh, is that what that is? Okay. I would love nothing more than to have something that is not full of bullshit, like what the doctors prescribe with all the chemicals that you can't pronounce and all that crap. So Jerry just put that up there, so that's awesome. I'll be looking for that, grabbing some of that for my daughter.
Yeah, it's his herbal salve, however you want to. And it's, what is this, 2 ounces for, I think it's $20 too, if I remember correctly.
That's
and I remember when we were talking,
product.
When we were talking, you said you don't need much, and honestly, I've been using this almost every day, and like, that might be what I use on my hands. That's a lot for my hands. This thing's gonna last years. Like, you don't use much, and it is a little different at first because you get used to like the cortisone creams and this and that, all those chemically stuff. This is all oils and butters, and then your herbal stuff that's infused. So at first it feels a little bit oily on your hands because it's oil, but it absorbs real well. I got bad eczema on my hands, so I've been using this, and it's definitely stopped the itch. It's starting to fade, like the little rough spots from the eczema and whatnot are starting to fade away and everything. Again, it does have that herbal stuff in it. Plus, I think you have a few more herbal ingredients that are infused in this one compared to the oils. And it does have that herbal smell, but again, it dissipates real quick. And it just has like that base, just neutral oil scent to it. It's I've loved this thing. Like I said, this 2 ounces I've used a little bit on my finger, and it's gonna last me forever. And I get to throw away all those other bullshit things that you find at CVS, Walgreens, Walmart, everything else that seem to work, but as soon as you stop using it, your issues come back. This has been great. And like I said, it hydrates the hands too. It feels like the hands feel smooth, and working my hands every day, and it's fantastic. So yeah,
That's great
definitely.
to hear, because I was diagnosed with a certain type of eczema that only affects my feet, which is gross because feet are disgusting, and mine are no different. But my daughter has eczema everywhere else, and well, I say everywhere, but it's on her arms and her face and things like that. You know, regardless, uh, I'm gonna place an order for some. Right,
How old is she by chance?
my daughter.
Yeah,
She's 11.
11. So eczema is a broad thing. It can be quite a few different types. My wife had 2 different types. She had dishydrotic eczema, which is a type of, she gets like little water blisters on her hands.
That's what I've got on my feet.
Okay, that sucks, man. I'm so sorry to hear that. That is painful and horrible.
It is, and not to get too deep into the weeds with it, but I went to Florida last year. Those little blisters had been there, and they were not comfortable. They were itchy was the worst part of it. And I was walking around on the sand, and that sand just kind of
Tore them up.
Though, yeah, that tore them open basically. And but it was like it made it itch worse, but then like a good kind of way. Like this feels great, but at the same time, like it was. But yeah, I've right now I've got 3 of them that have popped up on the bottom of my left foot, and I'm like, well, here we go again. So it's good to know that there's something out there for that. I just placed the order, so you'll be seeing that come through.
I heard the ding. So she's got dishydrotic, which what you have, and then she'll get the dry, cracked skin on her hands. But there's a couple of different things you can do to attack this. Okay, obviously topical, but wormwood tea, wormwood powder, red raspberry oil. What?
He said Malort.
I don't know if you've ever heard about that stuff or tried it. It's this
wormwood.
Malort.
It's the worst liquor that's ever been produced by anybody.
It's a Chicago liqueur that the base. I don't know. The majority of it is wormwood.
You won't taste it if you buy the pill format. You won't.
Oh, it tastes disgusting.
Oh yeah. No, this liqueur. I'm sure you've had Jägermeister in your life.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, this makes Jägermeister taste.
It makes it taste like that Macallan 12 they were drinking.
It really does. It's the nastiest. So it's produced in Chicago, and it's something that the locals like to push on visitors as a joke. And it's disgusting. There's a video out there. It's a commercial. If you just, it's Malort is how you spell it. If you just Google Malort commercial, you're gonna find the funniest fucking thing that you've ever seen in your life. And the guy is actually a member of the family, and he's drinking it, and it's just awful. It's just awful. I've got a bottle here so that I can, when people come over to drink, I can be like, "Have you tried this?" And then when they say no, I'm like, you got to try it. I say nothing else, and then I wait for the reaction.
I just pulled it up on YouTube. I will watch that when we are done.
You'll laugh so hard. It's disgusting. But anyway, back to what you were saying about the wormwood.
It's just super easy. You can buy them in capsule format, and that's what I would recommend, or a tea capsule for you. But then red raspberry oil and black seed oil. If you take those 3 things, a lot of times eczema has a fungal or a parasitic background. That's the reason why it's there, right? If you attack that internally and externally at the same time, you will have much fewer flare-ups. So,
Okay. You said wormwood oil or wormwood, red raspberry oil, and black seed oil? Is that
correct.
what you said?
Or
Okay.
black cumin seed oil. The same thing.
Black cumin.
Yep, and I have all three of those ingredients in my oil. That's actually, I put extra black seed and extra red raspberry oil along with wormwood and a few other extras in my eczema salve, which is why it works.
See, it's funny, and not to get too into religion or what have you, but you told us the name of your children, which I'm guessing have religious connotations, and I can see the tattoo there on your arm.
Yeah.
The giant lion and things of that nature. So, we don't need to get in religion, except to say that it's funny that we felt like we could do it better than God, right? All these things were put here for us. The natural things are out there, but for some reason we felt like, we need to synthesize and add all this crap in there that shouldn't be in your body. Obviously, they cause cancers and all these other things. And for some reason we felt like we could do it better. But they're out there, and people scoff at that whenever you say, and my wife was raised in a very strange offshoot of the Christian religion that I won't get into because it's
Okay.
well, I'll put it this way. There's a documentary on Netflix about cults, and the guy that started the church that she was part of growing up is mentioned in that documentary.
Send it to me when we're done with this conversation today.
Okay.
Okay.
But that being said, they use a lot of her mom and her sister, and they use a lot of honey and things like that when it comes to illnesses. And I'm just like, I think I'll go ahead and take the chemicals. But at the same time, I'm, here I am hypocritically saying, we thought we could do it better than, so, honey has a lot of healing properties. There, yeah. So cumin,
berry.
And then my wife, she mixes up this shake with all these things, and it turns purple when she mixes it all together. And she's like, she told me what all's in it, and I'm going to drink it every day. It's got apple cider. I don't even know what all's in it. And she's like, it's supposed to be good for your health and all this. And I'm just like, I'll find out, through you. I'm not. I'll find out vicariously. I don't want anything to do with that. I smelled it. I tasted a bit of it, and I was like, nope, I don't want that. But regardless, the natural forms of these remedies are out there. It just seems like it's a lost knowledge. There's a lot of this is having to be rediscovered by folks like yourself, right? Where centuries ago, these were well known. These were things that were used widely by everyone, and we didn't have all this synthesized madness. Even going back to, this is a bourbon podcast too. We're talking about beer products today, but it's a bourbon podcast too. Going back to, there's the inventor of the ancestor of the alembic still. You can look. She's known as Mary the Jewess, and she invented a type of still that was used to distill basically essential oils from herbs and whatnot to be used in medicine. And we've kind of gotten away from that. So it's cool that folks like yourself have, are rediscovering and awakening of sorts and putting that back out there. Because like I said, going back to my daughter, I would love to have something that works for her, that isn't full of crap.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys have a conspiracy podcast, go look at how we went from natural plant-based medicine to oil-based medicine back to the turn of the 19th century or 20th century. I mean, we went from everything being natural to everything based on oil through the power of chemistry. That should be an interesting conspiracy for you guys to get into. John D. Rockefeller.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's, what, if we want to get into the weeds with that one, you'll have to join.
No, we won't do that.
You'll have to come join Paul and I.
Let's do it, man. I'd love to do that one. That'd be awesome.
That's a whole other conversation. But Yeah, it's great. It's great. That's one thing that whenever we first started this show, one of the things that we really wanted, like Paul mentioned earlier, was transparency. We there's too many products out there, whether it's deodorant or beard products or hair care or whatever, that are just full of these hugely long, way too many syllables in the name, things you can't pronounce unless you're, got advanced degrees in chemistry. Um, and we shouldn't be putting that on our faces, on our heads, on our bodies, period.
Yeah.
Some of these things, I'll shut up after this and turn it back over to Jerry. But a lot of those chemicals are used in rodent uh, uh, control, right? And so the other day I looked out back and my dog was. We've got rodent traps that are placed there by the pest control company, and they're little black boxes, and then you put the bait inside and they get locked. Well, I looked outside and my puppy was chewing on one of these damn things. So I ran out there and I grabbed it up from him. He's fine. But on the outside of the box, it says "Do not touch." Well, the bait is inside. The poison is inside, but it's telling me not to touch the outside. Of course, the first thing I did was grab it from him, right? Because he's got it in his mouth. And I'm like, oh crap. Well, hopefully he's okay. But he doesn't have children to worry about. So hopefully I'm not going to die from touching this thing. So I put it up really high so he can't get back to it, and ran inside and washed my hands. But a lot of those chemicals, not all of them, but a lot of them can be found in some form or another in some of the things that we're putting on our bodies. It doesn't make any sense. And we've got the FDA saying, oh, it's fine. It's perfectly fine. Just like with, what was it, Red 40 that just got banned?
Yeah.
Oh, it's fine for however long, 50 years they've been telling us that's okay. And maybe longer. And now they're like, oh, it's not okay. It took somebody that everybody says is a lunatic saying you shouldn't put this into your body, RFK Jr. And for them to say, well, we're going to ban this. Europe's had that ban for a long time. And a lot of the chemicals that we have in these beard products, not yours, obviously, but some of them have been banned in Europe for a very long time. That's a problem. That's a problem for me, because for a long time I've looked at Europe as a kind of a odd entity, especially the European Union. There's a lot of weird stuff going on there, but a lot of what they allow in their food and their product, they've got a lot of things right as far as that's concerned. And we would do well in this country to take note and follow their example.
Well, as nutty as California is at times, they ban a lot of stuff that's bad for you too.
True.
It's weird.
True.
It's weird. Anyway, yeah. No, all great points, man. I think it all boils down to what we've been trained to think is okay, right? My wife was trained to think that it was okay for her to put a topical steroid on her hands to control her issues with her hands. Obviously, there was a better way. And
right.
have you seen what can happen to topical steroids to somebody if it decides to go ballistic on the human body? It can do some bad things. I've seen pictures of women that had eczema like my wife using topical steroids. All of a sudden, they're growing hair on your face on their hands.
Yeah, that's not good.
Right? Or
that's not meant to happen.
Even having such severe reactions that they have to get hospitalized. And it's ridiculous. And there's a better way, right? There's a better way to do things. So
that's right. It's kind of like what we were talking about earlier, and I meant to bring this up when we were talking about it. And it was before we started recording, but we were talking about Ozempic. One of the things, I was listening to a doctor the other day talk about that, how it also affects muscle mass. And a lot of people forget that your heart is a muscle. It's muscle tissue, the whole thing.
Yep.
So that's problematic right there, right? There's natural ways to lose weight, and some people, maybe they can't. They can't. They've tried everything, and they've really given it the college tribe, but I see a lot of videos of people that are out there and they're very, very, 400, 500 pounds, and they're jumping back into the gym and watching what they eat and not going to McDonald's, which is, you can put that stuff sitting out on the counter for 3 years and it's going to look exactly the same way as it did when you bought it. And I'm, very hypocritical in this because I had 3 McChickens yesterday. I can't help it. I love them. But regardless, there's a better way. There's a better way. And I'm glad to see you putting that into the care that you put into your products, which is how this all started. So, Jerry, I'm sure you got some more things there that you wanted to talk about. So
yeah, I got a couple more things, but yeah, going back to the time spent and everything that you put into it with the infusing of the oil and researching what each one does and doing all that. I think the most expensive thing that you have on your website, taking out merch, which we know is getting up there, and
somebody else does it for me.
I don't know why t-shirts and hats decide to start going up in price with everything. But I think the most expensive thing is your liquid butter at $25. But that's a 4-ounce liquid butter, which is an insane amount of liquid butter. Because I know I've started using a lot of liquid butter. One of the brands that we've had on here that I've really enjoyed went to liquid butter, and I've been using that. And it's 2 ounces, and it's just like beard oil. You don't need much. It's gonna. So 4 ounces is an insane amount for $25. I think $18-20 seems to be like industry average right now. So, So I might have originally, like I saw it and I was like, let me try the product out first, because I don't like to spend money if it's going to be a shit product. But so I'll try to do like we were talking about samples and whatnot. But I got no problem dropping like $20 and trying it, and then after trying, I'm like, yeah, I got to go back and pick some of the liquid butter up and a few more oils and whatnot up. But yeah, like deodorant's $10. It's on sale right now from $12. You got, what's that? A balm for $15, and then all the oils, like you said, were $20. Shampoo and conditioner for $15. Are those
8 ounces for conditioner? That's in my cart right now. 8 ounces for $15. That's crazy.
Yeah, those are going to be sold out soon. So once that's gone, it's gone. The company I buy them from changed their formula. So what I currently have is coconut derivative products on the shampoo and the conditioner. Totally fits in with my ethos, but they've changed their formula. I have some of the very last product that they made in the old formula. Once that's gone, it's gone. Now, we are doing a shampoo and conditioning soap. It is lard. It is from a guy who grows his own pigs. He harvests his own pigs. It's a 3-month time. It's a 3-month cook time on that soap. It's not on the website yet, but it's got all my herbs in it and the avocado oil and castor. I use it every day, and my beard feels absolutely incredible. Clean and moisturized. I am freaking blown away by how good this stuff is. But it's a 3-month cook time. So as soon as it goes on the website, I'll let you guys know when it's on the website. I'm not going to charge much. It's going to be like $10 to $12. But I have one bar in there that's been used for 2 months.
Wow.
I know that's one thing that the three of us have kind of. I know for me, it wasn't something I thought about, was like beard wash. Like, next order from this company, I'll pick some up, and then started looking when I joined the podcast. That started looking into the different oils and ingredients in it, and I'm like, I'm not that has the same stuff as Head and Shoulders in there, except it's in a different bottle. I'm not using that no more.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I know I've personally started doing, looking at these companies, is obviously the oil and balm and butter, because that's the main 3 that we kind of do. But deodorant and beard wash and conditioner are like the 2 like main ones that I like to look out for, because I got issues with like the aluminum and whatever that like the big name, like Old Spice and whatever the other big ones on. Used them growing up, but then I get like the rash and everything in it, and it just hurts and it's annoying and pain in the ass. But trying to find good quality natural deodorant, and I found a few of them, so I'm gonna have to pick some of that up along with the shampoo and conditioner, because I am almost out of what I have right now. So I was actually in the shower this morning. I was like, I got to figure out what I want to try next. So I think I just found out what I want to try next. And like Paul said, 8 ounces for $15 for the shampoo and conditioner. Well, 15 each for the shampoo and conditioner. It's a crazy price.
And the good thing about the two of them is that it's like everything else. You do not have to use a lot for your beard. You can use a dime-sized amount of both for your beard. So, again, this is one of those situations where a little goes a long way. Same thing with the salve or the butter or the oil. Because it's an all-natural derivative product, it's not where you have to use an overabundance of it in order to get the results that you want, right? So 15 comparatively is actually pretty fair. I've had other people say you should charge more. I'm like, no, I'm not going to be that guy that sits there and overcharges people. So number one, they never get it. But number two, I want people to try something different that's actually better for them. How do I get it in their hand if I charge $30 or $40 an ounce for something? That just doesn't make any sense, right? So the same philosophy with the shampoo and conditioner. So, I can't say enough about the soap. The fact of the matter is like this guy his son goes to my kid's school. He raises big, fat, happy pigs. He harvests 100 pounds of pig fat. He made this amazing soap. And I said, we need to put my leftover avocado herbs. So all the herbs from my beard oil go in there. And so it's 10% avocado. I'm sorry. It's 20% avocado, 10% castor oil, and 70% the lard. And it is an orange essential oil, but that it kind of faded away. But peppermint, it is incredible. So it's going to be worth the time and effort for us to make 70 bars. We did a trial run of 20. We have a couple of guys in the community with really bad skin. And this soap immediately started clearing up the skin, the really bad problems they had in their scalp, along their back hairline and the front. This one African-American guy that's in the community is a very light-skinned guy, but he's got huge pores on his face. It's like, I get breakouts so bad, the soap immediately started to help within the first use. So it's that kind of thing that I'm super proud of. But yeah, healthy ingredients, try to get the best price that I can possibly get for it. And I don't need to make $1 million selling this stuff. I really don't. If I can get someone to switch, primarily the deodorant, which we all know for women in particular causes your lymph nodes to be clogged, which prevents all that gunk that builds up in breast tissue from being able to leave the breast. One of the reasons why a lot of women have breast cancer. My wife had breast cancer, had a breast cancer scare at 19. My mother-in-law had a double mastectomy and is a cancer survivor, and my mom, or my wife's grandmother, passed away from the disease. So, but men can also get it. It can also cause all sorts of other issues. You can get lymphoma from it. You can get all sorts of diseases from it. So switching to a healthy, clean deodorant may suck at first because your body may have to detox. You'll go through that smelly phase where you might smell like an onion. But when you come out of it, whether it be a couple days or maybe a week, when you come out of it, you're going to smell a lot better. You'll go for days without having to apply it. And then when you do apply it, you're not going to have to sit there and think, oh, I'm going to smell terrible at the end of the day, because this is mainly for microbial control. That's the only reason why we put deodorant on, is for microbial control. And that's how I design my deodorant, is just to be able to do that. It's not meant to make you stop sweating. It's just meant to make it so that bacteria doesn't go crazy and make you smell like a blooming onion that's been out for 2 weeks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's problematic because how am I going to get my wife to touch me if I smell like that? That's but it won't last, right? It won't last. So
That's right. No, it goes away pretty quick. And a lot of the guys in the reviewers in the community, I'm convincing them to switch over to a healthy deodorant. That's why I'm helping a couple other companies develop their deodorant. I talked to Chris at True North on a couple of occasions about how to develop his deodorant, some of the tricks that I've learned on making it. Listen, the deodorant is one of the things I'm super proud of. The salve is number one. The deodorant is number two. It is a really good deodorant, and it's very healthy. We're coming up with some other stuff. We got this one called Driftwood and Sage. It smells like I can't smell anything right now. My nose is clogged, but it smells like a light Irish Spring with a little bit of Dove. But it's got all the natural ingredients in it. So, and I don't know if you guys saw on my Instagram, but we're doing a collaboration, partnership with a guy named Lim Lost Boss. I don't know if you've ever seen his stuff on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok, but guy lost his legs above his knees, and he's got a couple million followers on major socials. But we're doing 3 oils that are meant to be like working man scent profiles, driftwood and sage, like Himalayan sea salt, and stuff that kind of reminds you of like a rugged man's soap, but they're really, really nice smelling, very clean and pleasant oils. So we're gonna be releasing those on October 1st. But he's a really good guy. So I try to look for people in the community that I can work with, and like I said, I work with a couple other beard oil companies to kind of develop some additional products. But if that guy or woman is not going to be like trying to do that in turn and try to help somebody else, this community has been about helping each other and trying to lift all these other small batch companies up. And that's a mission for a few of us in the community is to try to build each other up and make better products, because we're all going to do something different. And we're all going to hit a different market. Your beard may work great with my oil, whereas someone else's it may not. Everybody's different. Everybody's nose is different. Everybody's experience is different. Someone may have had COVID and they can't smell anything anymore, so they don't care about scent. Whereas someone may be a super smeller and can pick out every tiny little detail. So, I'm not a gatekeeper, man. I just don't believe in it. Maybe the South, but I'm just not really a gatekeeper, So, my dogs are out there going nuts because my kids are eating dinner. So.
That's all right. We can barely hear them.
Okay.
So I got a couple just like, I guess, they're not random, but kind of. But we'll start out with like, what's your daily beard routine? Do you use oil, butter, balm, a combination of them?
I'm blessed the fact that I can work from home, something I earned, by the way. And so funny enough, a lot of people are complaining that they have to go back to the office because they're not doing their job well.
Right.
I work really hard to meet all my metrics. I have the privilege and the honor of working from home, and to serve my nation's veterans is a privilege and an honor. So, but warm shower. Make sure my beard has been thoroughly cleaned. Sometimes it's with the soap. Sometimes it's just hot water, depending on the day. I have eczema on my face, so I get itchy regardless. About every second or third day, I'll do a thorough washing of my face. And then simple, pat it mostly dry, 85% dry, and I'll put an oil in my beard. If I go out, I'll put a little heat on my beard to straighten it out a little bit. One of the things argan is good for is heat. Provides a lot of protection to your beard. And at night, if I'm struggling, with a headache or something, I'll put a little bit of the Cool Serenity, which is lavender peppermint on my beard. Maybe a little bit of butter in my beard if I don't want to wear a beard oil. And that's pretty much it. It kind of varies. As my beard gets longer, I start using balm, but I'm not a real big balm guy. Because if I had your length, I would use it for sure. I just don't have that length, so it's not a big deal for me. But kind of the standard routine. And then my wife's got one of those Shark like blow dryers with the circular brush. Yep. I use that frequently. So just to clean my beard up, get all the dead skin off my beard, off my face. Because you still have to do that, even if you had beard oil. So,
what's your go-to scent, like scent profile?
Man, right now, smoked cherry. That smoked cherry. Again, not a fan of cherry scents because they all smell medicinal. But this smoked cherry to me is like you had a bunch of maraschino cherries and you started burning them. They smell so good. And
that's right up Paul's alley right there.
a little bit of Cuban tobacco scent that goes along with it. It almost smells to me like a really strong cherry forward old fashioned. We just did this. We're doing this new one. I don't have it in here, but rustic woods. And nostalgia for me is a pretty big deal. So I lived up in Massachusetts for a year when I was a kid. By the way, I was born in Owensboro, Kentucky.
How about that? I'm from the western end of Kentucky. I live in Lexington, but I'm from a little town called Dawson Springs down there, not far from Owensboro.
Oh, right on. Yeah, we weren't there long, but maybe 6 months. But that's where I was born. That's on my birth certificate.
Ask your parents about Dawson Springs. I'm willing to bet. So, do you remember the tornadoes that ripped through Kansas and Missouri and Kentucky a few years ago?
And all that?
Yeah. So Dawson Springs is one of the two towns that was nearly wiped off the map by that tornado.
Oh, geez.
Mayfield and Dawson Springs. But I'm willing to bet your parents know dog. What? So I got to ask you before you keep going. Why were you born in Owensboro?
Yeah, my dad was a Marine Corps veteran as well, but he got out of the Marine Corps in '75, and he was a draftsman, so he was really good at math and really good at knowing what a blueprint was and how to build stuff. So they wanted to send him to OCS. He turned him down, and then he started getting headhunted by all these big construction companies. So, every year we moved up until 1990 when we settled into west eastern Tampa area. But that was it. We would just move all the time because you go in, finish a project up that was stalled, and get hired to go do another one in some other place. I mean, that's why.
That's crazy because so my dad, who I told you he was in the Marine Corps, he got out. Let's see, he was 18 when he joined, so it would have been 1977. And before that, he lived there in Madisonville, Kentucky, which is right, not far from Owensboro. Then he and my mom, he graduated. I'm sorry, he graduated high school. I think he graduated high school in 1976 from Madisonville North Hopkins there in Madisonville, Kentucky. Joined the Marine Corps, or it might have been 77 when he graduated and joined. Anyway, same area, really close, with your dad and all that stuff, that timeline at least. But that's crazy. That's craziness.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Yeah, I've driven through Kentucky a few times. Beautiful state. Some of the poverty there is sad, though. Like just
it's one of the more poverty-stricken states in the U.S. the Dawson Springs where I grew up. It's I think the majority of the people that live there, I don't know the actual percentage, but the majority of them live below the poverty line. It's pretty bad. And I've lived all over this state, and I've lived in several areas that are Eastern Kentucky, Western Kentucky, Central Kentucky. There's poverty. It's bad. It's pretty bad. So, but if you ever find yourself in this area again, you have to give me a holler. Drive through Kentucky. I'll
well, next year, Buckeye Beard Battle, which I was just up in Ohio this last weekend. You guys need to make a point to come if you're anywhere near there. It's going to be September of next year, roughly in Zanesville, Ohio, real close to Columbus Airport, and super easy drive, nice little town, and a lot of really cool business owners that I've come to grow really close with over the last 6 or 7 months, and a lot of really great reviewers that were there. So,
well, gentlemen, we know what we're doing in September next year. Paul's in Maryland, so it won't take much for him, and then of course Jerry's in Florida, so it won't. I can just drive right on up that way. But anyway, back to what you were saying. I'm sorry, you were born in Owensboro, and please continue. I apologize.
No, you're fine. What was the question? Hey, listen, I just turned 45, man. The memory automatically goes 5% with every year after 40. Okay, we know.
I asked scent profile, and then you brought up the smoked cherry, and then you brought up rustic woods.
Rustic woods. So nostalgia is really big for me when we create something. Mint chocolate chip, for one, is my favorite ice cream, even though I don't eat it anymore. So I said, babe, we've got all these beardies wanting foodie stuff. Let's make mint chocolate chip. I sold 3 mint chocolate chips at Buckeye Beard Battle. 3. I was shell shocked. I figured, you get 1 or 2. No, I sold 3, and it wasn't a widely attended event. I sold 3. I was shocked. I sold 2 more on the website when I came home within 3 days of getting back. I was absolutely flabbergasted. Could not believe it. But it's nostalgia, right? Peach cobbler, key lime pie. They smell like peach cobbler. They smell like key lime pie. But I remember growing up in Massachusetts, we had a pear orchard and a lot of crab apples around us. I don't know if you guys have ever experienced this, but if you've ever walked through a lot of rotting leaves, fresh apples, rotting apples, there's like this sickly sweet smell.
Yeah, it's almost like an apple cider vinegar, but not quite there just yet.
Yeah, I mean, it smells like an ancient forest with an ancient orchard, and it's an absolutely stunning scent. We made it just for Buckeye. Everybody that smelled it said that is one of the most unique scents that we've ever smelled. I've sold 10 of those in the last week since I got back from Buckeye.
Which one is that?
The rustic woods.
You're about to sell another one.
Dude, just let me know what you want, and I'll make sure that whatever happens, we get it to you. I'm utterly flabbergasted at how good this thing turned out. My wife's nose, she just picked everything out, and I'm like, baby, that smells like rotting leaves and apples and fall. And it doesn't smell like an apple pie. It smells like aged apples, and it's incredible.
Apples, white birch leaves, tobacco, suede, flannel, hickory, vintage leather, and maple bourbon is the description on the site.
Yep. And some of those little scents, they're barely there, but if they weren't there, the whole thing would. You don't smell leather, right? But if the leather wasn't there, it would totally change it.
Well, I'm a big fan of. So Jerry, he mentioned that I like, leathers and tobaccos and things like that, but I'm a big fan of, that's me. I see you looking at the phone. That's me.
I'll refund your shipping. I'll refund your shipping on
Oh,
one.
well, I appreciate that, but
Yeah.
not necessary. But thank you. I really like my favorite seasons of the year are definitely spring. Summer used to be, but the older I get, the more I sweat, and it's not quite what it used to be for me.
Right.
Fall is definitely I'm a big fan of football. I'm a big fan of horror movies. I've got Pinhead and Michael Myers and Freddy tattooed on my arm here, and then the house from Psycho, and um, Halloween and things like that. And there's a company from the Tampa Bay area that produces a really nice fall scent that I've really liked, and just from the description that I read there, I'm sure that that's going to be in one of my top fives whenever I get that in. I'm looking forward to using that. I really like it when companies have a fall scent that they put out, even if they carry it all year round. Excuse me. Just to kind of separate out what they've got going on uh, throughout the year. So I'm really excited about that. The description makes it sound like it's going to be amazing, and I'm sure that it will. So looking forward to that one.
I'll throw in the Tobacco Grove one as well. That's another really good one that I love. And
Thank you.
I have a customer up in Massachusetts that has helped us develop quite a few scents. That Tobacco Grove is another one.
Well, I'm going up to Massachusetts here in a couple weeks, going to Salem and Boston. So I'll make sure to take that with me and use it while I'm up there, going up into Maine as well.
Oh, that sounds heavenly, man. I want to do that so bad.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty amazing. My sister's been planning this. I've never been on a vacation with my father in 42 years, never been on a vacation with my dad. So I was like, I got to go, got to happen. And then she planned so we're driving, and I've seen The Office more times than any human being should ever see. So I'm amending my trip so that we can go through Scranton and I can actually see the Dunder Mifflin Tower from the opening of The Office, and it adds no time to the drive trip up. It's an 18 and a half hour trip if you don't stop. So that's wow. With 3 kids, that's going to be a lot of fun. But because our oldest can't go because her cheer coach won't allow her to go with us. So anyway, Salem in October is just about the most amazing. And then Boston, of course, with all the history there. But Salem in October is just about one of the most amazing things that I can think. Like that's a bucket list type situation. So having a fall scent on my beard. I'm sorry.
Especially if you're into horror.
Yeah, I am, and I remember reading, The Crucible in middle school. I think 8th grade is when we read that, and that really made an impression on me. And that, I'm a big metalhead, and that kind of goes along with it as well. So I think it'll be really cool, but it'll be extra cool to have a fall scent to just kind of have in my beard and smell that while I'm walking around and checking everything out. The leaves are changing and it's got that crisp in the air, and just it'll just enhance the experience. I think that'll be awesome.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Yeah, it made me want to go up there now. Go back.
Yeah, we're doing some cool stuff. We're going on a lobster fishing trip. We're going on a whale washing situation. We're going to one day in Boston is just going to be a free day, and I'm going to go check out Privateer Rum while I'm there. We're also big rum guys. Go check out some of the old wooden ships called Diversity. If you don't catch the reference for the listener, that's from Anchorman. So I'm just going to go ahead and throw that out there because that's one of the stupidest, most funny movies that's ever existed.
The fight scene is always, to me, one of the funniest things ever. And Steve Carell's character, oh my gosh.
Oh well, all of them. I mean, and then the second one, there's a clip out there. It's I shouldn't talk about it, but I'm gonna because I have no filter. It's a blooper, and it's Ron Burgundy talking about basically a hot river of frothy ejaculate. And they're all just dying laughing. They can't hold it together. That's why it didn't make it into the movie. They can't hold it together. Paul Rudd, David Koechner, Will Ferrell, Steve Carell, all of them. It's just, and Kristen Wiig in the second one. Goodness gracious! I mean, and well, let's not forget, one of the hottest women that's ever existed, at least in my childhood, Christina Applegate. Holy crap! Just anyway, great movies. But I'm gonna go check those ships out and see the harbor where the tea was thrown in, all those good things. But having that fall scent there to accompany me will really enhance the experience. And a lot of people think that I'm just talking out of my ass if they're listening to us right now. And I'm here to tell you that, having a different sense in your beard. I'm sorry.
You're a very articulate ass.
Yeah. I appreciate that. I mean, it's, having those scents really does enhance your experience. I've got scents that I like to wear in the summertime. I've got scents that I like to wear in the spring or whatever. It really does enhance your day. And fall has become one of my favorites lately. So why not? Why not go ahead with it? So I'm looking forward to it. That's going to be great.
Yeah, man. Now I'm just hoping that you like it, because
I'm sure that I will. I like the sample that Jerry sent. I liked it very, very much. So, glowing review from me. Even though I've not really had a whole lot to say about the scent itself, but I really liked it. So to give a review, real quick review, it did not clog my pores. It did not cause any kind of pain on my face, which is something that I've actually had, something I've experienced. A lot of, they'll clog your pores, they'll clog your hair follicles. And then when you go to touch your beard, it's stiff and it's painful and it hurts. I didn't break out. The scent was great. The transparency is there. Like we said earlier, there's a lot of things that we look for on our show that we can find in your products. And with the one product that I've had the privilege to try, I'm very, very pleased with. So I'm looking forward to trying more. Absolutely.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that a lot. It means a lot. Word of mouth's been big for me thus far. But I'm not shy of talking to people either. So I was on the Bearded Respect at the end of February this year, and I think I had maybe 50 orders online. I have a couple businesses I sell to as well. And I had like close to 90 orders from the businesses that bought stuff wholesale. But I had maybe had 50 online orders in February. I've have almost 350 since February.
Awesome.
Total. So, it's, the community is really embracing my stuff. And man, it's been a joy to do this, but as with anything, it takes time, it takes effort. I'm not shy about talking. I've, been on some shows where I started asking them questions to try to keep it going and keep the conversation going. I'm not afraid of it at all. But if you're gonna have a small business, you can't be afraid of it. I don't know if you guys know Dan from Bearded Death. He's a huge reason why my website looks how it looks. He gave me what I needed to get my website to where it is today. Another small business helping another small business. So, man, it means a lot that you guys like it, and I strive to try to make it better. With every product we make, we're always trying to improve. I do all the labels. I do the website. I pretty much do everything other than scent building, which is my wife. But I'm the one that does the R&D. I'm the one that puts out the instructions for my kids to make a product while I'm working throughout the day, doing what I should be doing. But I'm always trying to find some way to be better. And the fact that you guys appreciate it means a lot, because I'm sure you guys probably have had quite a few companies in your beard at this point. So, the fact that you gave it a fair shot and you've liked it just makes me want to be better. Do you like harvest spice type stuff, like pumpkin spice? Do you like that kind of scent profile?
Personally, I like more of the apple spice, like the apples, peaches, um, pumpkin. I've had some really good pumpkin scented ones, and then I've had some ones that I wasn't a fan of.
Yeah.
Uh, but it seems like most of the apple scents seem to come through the way that they wanted to. Same thing goes for the peaches. But that pumpkin one kind of sometimes there's too much spice, sometimes there's not enough. The pumpkin one kind of seems to me the one that's iffy, but the apple and peaches
I think it's the
are
clove. I think clove
could be.
is the real reason why the pumpkin. I say pumpkin because there's no pumpkin in it, but the pumpkin spice ends up being difficult for people because clove is very punchy, and it's not always punchy in a pleasant way. You know. Plus, it can burn your skin if you have too much, along with cinnamon. If you have too much of those too, it can actually burn your skin. So funny story about that. We made it's called Harvest Spice. It's got two scarecrows on the front. It's kind of funny, but my wife had the scent bottle. So like this is a scent bottle, right? That's a 4-ounce scent bottle for rustic woods. So she had a 2-ounce scent bottle for the Harvest Spice one. I'm like, well, I better wear it. I better go put some on my face and make sure it smells right. It did. Problem is, I put the scent bottle stuff on my face and not the oil.
How'd that feel?
It burned because it was essential oils. It wasn't fragrance. It was essential oils. Burned the snot out of my face. I tell you what, my face was clean. It was clean, but yeah, man, that was an experience. But I think what it did is it made me appreciate a little bit how much you can over scent a bottle. You can burn somebody's face if you ain't careful. And it happens. Like if you have an allergy or sensitivity to citrus, and you put some of that beard oil on your face, it's got essential oils from citrus, you can get a sunburn. So we're very careful about what we do.
So, you've talked. One of the questions was the any new scents, which we talked about with the new lineup that's coming out in October, the 3 of them, and then some of the soap and the new deodorant. So I got that, and then I was gonna ask how you tested out new stuff, and you talked about your guys' crazy friend out there. But what has been the biggest challenge running this business that you've seen over the last couple of years that you've been open? And then has there been a moment that you decided that you almost thought about just shutting it down and keeping it in-house for yourself?
Yeah, a couple of months ago, I actually had a really bad day and was getting a little annoyed with some of the nuances of some of the people in the community that are very kind of narrow-minded, and they do exist. And I messaged Dan from Bearded Death. I said, dude, I don't want to do this anymore. And he said, dude, are you crazy? He goes, Man Cave is you're my favorite oil. Out of all the oils I've tried, Man Cave is my favorite. He's like, what are you thinking? He's like, you're doing something completely different than everybody else. There's no way that you can quit. Go and do something else for the rest of the day and come back to it tomorrow. And that's what I did. And you can't undervalue that sort of you can't place enough value on that type of engagement. Someone to basically slap you upside the head from, he's in Pennsylvania, and say, what are you doing? Rome wasn't built overnight, right?
That's right.
And you guys heard me say, like, there's a lot of companies that white label stuff. They buy a wholesale oil, they'll put a fragrance in it, and they'll stick a label on it. And that's fine. If you want to do that, that's your business model, that's fine. But, reality of it is I'm doing something very different in the marketplace, and it's going to take time to build the trust. It's going to take time to build a customer base. It's going to take time to build loyalty. But moreover, it's going to take the little engagements of, hey, that salve helped heal my legs that nothing has helped heal my legs over the last 25 years. I've had that. Hey, I've had eczema all over my body. Your salve, it's totally gone. Hey, my hands itch so bad for years that I was unable to do anything other than be in pain. I had a 75-year-old guy at the market that I'm at, Detweiler's. I saw his hands. It looked like lobsters. It looked like flaking. It was bad. Poor guy, 75. He's like 6'4". I said, sir, come over here, please. And he comes over. I said, how bad is you have eczema on your hands? He goes, yeah, it's really bad. I said, dude, I'll give you a jar of this on my dime. He bought it. He wouldn't accept that. But a month later, he comes back into Detweiler's and says to one of the ladies working in health and wellness, his hands were completely clear. And for decades, he's had this problem with his hands. And he comes in and he tells this lady, Valerie, that. And I almost cried, man. Like, that's what all this means to me. So I don't have the ability or the desire to give it away. If someone wanted to give me $5 million for the business, I'd probably turn them down. Because I don't think they'd do what I'm doing, right? I don't think they would care that much. So, but to say that, the goal is to be able to stick to my guns, continue to make good product, try to find a way to be innovative, try to find a way to build community, and continue to try to be able to have one-on-one conversations and build that brotherhood. When I went to Buckeye and met all these guys that I've been kind of in the trenches with this business for the last 6 months, there were hugs given with those guys that I haven't given people that I've known for 10 years. But yeah, I mean, we're going to continue to try to develop within the realm of what we're doing. We're not going to change anything. We're going to up the main thing that we're doing with Limb Loss Boss is we're going to up the amount of castor oil just to make it thicker. But other than that, we're not changing anything. We're keeping everything the same way. I want to get the platform where I can get the salve and the deodorant out to more people. That I'm a salve and a deodorant guy that makes beard oil on the side. That's how I view it. That's how I think about things. So, I'm probably going to do an eczema oil, not a salve, but an eczema oil with the same ingredients minus the butters to try to get somebody, a little bit of relief there as well. But believe it or not, beeswax plays a big part in that too, because there are some healing benefits to beeswax. But anyway, so
right.
Yeah, I think that answers your question.
So what advice would you give either yourself starting out, or you and your wife starting out, or someone that's trying to start up their own beard care, skin care business? What kind of advice would you give them?
I think it all goes along to the back end stuff, the discovery, the process of building stuff has been really fun. I would definitely suggest to myself early on to get professional help with the website, because I struggled with the website for about maybe 15 or 16 months to get it where I wanted it. Once I started understanding how everything, how the formatting worked, it's been easy to build it. But I would go back to that, the back-ended stuff, the administrative stuff. Dude, guys, let me tell you how many sheets of freaking labels that I have wasted. hundreds of dollars in labels that I have wasted in the last 2 years. I can make a label from start to finish, artwork, all of it in under an hour for a brand new product. It was days or weeks prior to this last year. And I can do it in an hour from start to finish. Now, I do use AI to help with the art. I'm not an artist. But I don't steal anybody else's ideas. I don't use anybody else's copyrighted material. I do everything myself. So from start to finish, it's me and my wife that make these products. But if I had to do it all over again, administratively, website. Hands down. That would have been the thing I would have invested the money in early on.
And then we've talked about it kind of on the side on Instagram chat, but you got any like sample kits in the works?
Yeah, the sample kits are, we're, I think after October 1st, I've been sort of pulling in some of that. Been pulling in some of those mini bottles to make the samples. The issues with the samples is that if you get, a couple 2 or 3 milliliter bottles to do samples in, or 5 milliliters, whatever it is, they tend to be messy. And they're not as easy to open. They're not as easy to manipulate as a 1 ounce bottle. So I don't want to get it. So if you get a Tobacco Grove or a Rustic Woods or a Man Cave, that they're all in the thing and you're going to pick it up and one's going to smell like the other. Like the beard reviewers in the community, they've all told me that this is a problem. So that's been my holdup, is that. The other side of it is the administrative aspect of it. How do you build a website out so you can say, here's a sample pack of 5, what do you want? Where it's probably just going to be a list. I'm going to be like, you want 5, you pay for 5, you have to pick from the list, and you have to send me an email and tell me what you want. I'm leaning towards doing it that way. I think that'll be the easiest way to do things. And that way, the person that's making the decision actually has to go in and make a conscious decision that these scents are what I'm really interested in, and they're not just clicking a drop down.
Yeah.
So I think that probably will be the way I go with that. So it is coming. I want to get through the October 1st Limb Loss Boss thing. He thinks we're going to do 1,000 bottles. I don't know. I think he put some money into it. He gave $1,000 investment to making this happen. So we'll do everything I can to make it happen. And he is a full-blown collaborator with it. He's going to get 20% of every sale, and I'm happy to do it. But yeah, the once I figure out which way I'm going to go, they'll go on there. It'll be what you guys are probably thinking of, like a 3 to 5, maybe a 7 sample size.
Yeah. Yeah. To me, it doesn't really matter. Usually, as long as there's an option to grab one. But seeing, I don't know, if I see like a 5 or 6 or 7 sample pack, it kind of makes me feel like I'm getting a deal, even though I'm probably not. It could be $3 a piece, or it could be $15 for a 5 sample pack. I feel like I'm getting a deal with the 5 sample, even though I'm not. It's the same price.
Yeah.
But for me, knowing what this, like, for your oil does and how it works with my beard, I know it works well, and with my face and everything like that. At this point, it's kind of trying to figure out which scent profile I want. That's usually how it is with like most companies that I buy sample packets from.
Yeah.
Is trying to narrow down which scent profile, because like I said, I like, depending on time of year, I like the summer bright, like lemon scents and citrus scents, but I also like the nice cologne scents. and your cologne versus Bearded Death's cologne, which I was looking up. We had him on. Well, we didn't have him on, but we had his product on February of last year, which we might have to reach out to him to get him on again, because this was back when I think he only had like 3 different scents.
Yeah.
This was back then. I know he has a lot more now. I've looked at it. But your lemon or citrusy or cologne scent versus his might be completely different.
It is.
Depending on how you're going to blend it together. So, like I said, for me,
very different.
it's just kind of, I know how the oil works, and I kind of want to just see the different scents without like spending 20.
I'll work on it. I'll put some time into it this week and see how I can start narrowing it down.
But yeah, I definitely get the idea of how they kind of might blend together in the shipping. They might have a little bit of leak. I know those smaller, depending on which bottles you go for, they might leak out a little bit and kind of make it like infuse in the other one. So I get that. I've had some that I picked out, I don't know, say like a lemon scent and then a tobacco scent. Next thing you know, they're both this lemon tobacco scent, kind of like we had on today. I get that. And then same thing with like the whiskey samples that we definitely do not send each other, because that is 100% illegal. There might be some leakage in there, and it's like, oh, I thought this was a rye, and I'm smelling a single malt, and then I pull out the single malt out of the package, and that had a small leak in it. So I definitely understand that aspect of it. But
we did buy sample boxes, so we have the miniature boxes that could fit 5 or 6 scent bottles in there very easily. It is. We do have the other packaging for it too. We could make it happen.
And then I know a few. I don't know, the one. Obviously, the drop down box is easier. Just kind of pick which one. But there's been a few. It's just like, hey, here's the list I have. Write it in the comments on your either this order or your when you go to checkout. Just write down what you want, and I'll put it in there. Sort of deal, and that works too. Honestly, that might work a little bit better
for my customers. I really do. I want it to be as easy for them as possible, but I also want them to really think about what they want.
That's what I was going to say. It makes it a little bit easier, because I have to now go back into the website to see, all right, what scent is this? Do I actually want this scent versus, oh, this bourbon was the lemon bourbon blaze. All right, sounds good. But I don't know exactly what the profile is. I might think it's just a lemon bourbon, not realizing that it has like that chocolatey smokiness to it, and I might not like that part of it. So if you actually have to write it down, you have to go back into it and see what the actual profiles are and stuff like that. So it might take a little bit more time on our end, but honestly, it's just more of a copy and paste, and it takes 2 seconds to look at what the scent profile is.
And it is an area I'm deficient, and a lot of the guys a lot of the other owners in the community do offer samples. All right, I'll work on it this week.
And then one more question, because we kind of talked about the other one. I was going to ask your favorite whiskey, but I guess we didn't say it on the show. But you were drinking Macallan 12.
Yeah, I love.
Do you have a favorite cigar, or a cigar that you go to more so than others?
The West Tampa Circle of Life is probably one of my favorites. Let's see if I have my little. I'm not sure I have it in here anymore. I have a little mini travel humidor that was in here. It might not be in here anymore. There's a Series S. It's a Mexican. Has a picture of a dancing lady on it. Gosh, I can't think of the name of it now. That's been driving me crazy.
I could see the label. Is it yellow, like a yellow label?
Series S, Series R. I'm friends with the guys at Barrel and Binder. He'd be really upset with me if I didn't get this right. But it's a wonderful cigar. It's rich and deep and balanced, and has a really great flavor. I would say overall, the Circle of Life has been. There you go. That's the one. Yep, exactly.
La Gloria Cubana series.
Yeah, La Gloria Cubana. Thank you.
Okay, we've smoked it on the show, I'm pretty sure.
Great cigar.
Indeed, we have.
West Tampa Circle of Life, to me, is probably one of the best cigars I've ever had. I've noticed a little inconsistency. Some have been bound a little too tight. Some have burned too quick. I've mostly been very happy with them. I like, if I want something sweeter, I'll go with the Tabak. I'm really a big fan of Drew Estate cigars. My wife absolutely loves the Drew Estate line, the sweet Betty's and all that. She loves those. I've actually had a couple of customers and a couple of guys from the Texan bearded community send me packs of cigars to try. And just great people in the community, man. I can't say enough about them. But yeah, I would say West Tampa is probably my number one overall, and that series I love that one, man. That one's so good. I have a 7x70 in there. I got to smoke at some point.
You got to set yourself some time for that one.
Yeah. At least
you have 4 hours.
Yeah, I tend to smoke cigars pretty quick, so that's probably about a 3-hour cigar for me.
We had a bone shaker. What was it? Oh hell, it was a 6x60. I can't remember what the particular version of the bone shaker it was, but and that thing was you could take batting practice with that thing.
Yeah.
The West Tampa Circle of Life was a 6x62, and I lit that up probably about 20 minutes before, because we talked to Rick on here, I think about a year ago, about 20, 30 minutes beforehand, and I was still smoking it. I don't know. I think we were all smoking it like an hour afterwards too.
Yeah.
Like it was a good 2.5 hour smoke.
Yeah. If you guys ever want to really engage with someone who's got a lot of knowledge on the cigars, go to barrelandbinder.com.
Yep.
Same name on Instagram. His name is Chris. He's a really great guy. But I'm going to tell you right now, he blows all of your whiskey collections out of the water. He's got hundreds of bottles. The dude is insane. He's got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of cigars. He's a monster. I don't know how he's afforded this, but he has no kids. That's why. But he
that's Al. Yeah.
The shelf that you have behind you, his shelf. Well, I don't know what you have otherwise, but yeah.
And
you're doing pretty good.
Well, that's a fraction. There's about 400 more upstairs.
Okay,
well,
you guys might be equal then. But dude, he's got a collection that is mind-boggling. So, I guess I shouldn't have assumed that was all the stuff you had, but.
No, well, it's it is what it is, but yeah, it's I've got more than I'll ever be able to drink. I'll just put it that way. So
yeah, but I mean, there's value in that, right? Like I was telling before the show, before you guys came on, there's a Corona cigar place down in Sarasota that has a huge wall of whiskey and bourbon and stuff like that. But they have some. I've never tried Japanese whiskey before until I went in there, and oh my gosh.
It's good stuff, especially if you like Scotch. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Oh my gosh!
If you like Japanese whiskey, let me find it real quick. There's a where is it? I'm struggling to find it right now. It's a collaboration between Jim Beam and Paul.
Suntory.
Well, yes, but the
Legion.
guy.
Legion.
Yeah. It's called Legion. And it is, man, it's fantastic. It's really, actually, I'm going to find it and pour some right now.
Yeah, it's a Kentucky bourbon that is blended the way, I can't think of his name.
Shinji something.
Yeah, that it's Kentucky bourbon that they blend the same way that they do their Japanese whiskey. So it pulls out, it's, think of like a Japanese style Jim Beam. Okay. I think it's finished in like red wine barrels or something like that. Paul could probably.
It is finished,
and it's just fantastic.
My 17-year-old son is fascinated with Japanese culture, and and I've seen some of the Japanese, how they make Japanese whiskey, the precision, the delicate care they take at every step is absolutely fascinating. But they do that with everything there. You know, it doesn't matter what you make; everything they treat it that way.
So their master blender, I think, eats chicken and rice like daily, just so his palate is the same every time he blends.
Every day. And what's really cool right here, I don't know if you can make that out. Put my hand behind it. You can see the silhouette of somebody's face there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Wow.
And then right here, there's another silhouette. And so that's Fred No and Shinji. I believe the top is Fred because it's bald, and the bottom there's some hair. That's Shinji. And this is it's Shinji Fukuyo is his name, and Fred No. And this is you should be able to find this on any shelf in any liquor store around you. And it's absolutely incredible. It's 94 proof. It's got a nice wide lip on the top of the bottle here. It's got a nice big cork, and it says Kentucky and Japan on the top of it there. And it's fantastic whiskey. It's really, really good.
And it's like $40, something like that.
Like $45.
Yeah. When I bought this one like 4 years ago, it was $42.99. So it's really, really good. And yeah, everything the Japanese do pretty much is precise and a lot of care that's involved, and with everything.
Same with Jim Beam.
Yeah, I found it. Wow, that looks great.
Same with Jim Beam. Is that what you said?
Yeah, same with Jim Beam.
Okay. Yeah. It's not something that has to do with American whiskey in general, just based around the laws that what.
Sure. No, I got you.
Fantastic.
No, yeah, I totally understand.
God, man, it's good.
Yeah, now I'm probably going to end up going and buying that. It's because I don't drink a lot. In fact, I very rarely ever drink. But there has to be special occasions. That's why tonight I had some Macallan. So, yeah, I definitely like finding something new and unique. We were just on a cruise, and we found a $90 bottle of locally made rum in Belize, and I couldn't taste it till I got home. But man, was it something special!
Belize rum is fantastic. I got 2 bottles. One is one's a 9 and one's a 13-year-old, but the rum coming out of there is crazy good.
Are they both Holmes Key? Yeah. One of them's the one that you sent up to me, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you, if not both of you, have had it. If not, I'll definitely send samples out to both of you guys.
Well, that last bottle that you sent up to me, I believe was
Barbados.
Barbados, that's right. I knew there was a B involved, but since you're in Florida, if you should be able to find Holmes Key on the shelves a lot easier down there than I can. Jerry certainly can find it. I would, and it's spelled CAY, HOLMES. But that stuff is. Jerry sent me one from Fiji, and that was the most incredible rum I've ever had in my life. Holy crap! And I found one in Texas when I was down there a few years ago for $150. And my wife just happened to be standing there when I picked the bottle up, and she saw the sticker, and I was like, I got to put this back because I can't, I can't go pay $150 for this bottle while she knows how much it costs, But I wanted to because that's the only bottle that I've ever seen. Jerry sent me a sample, and that's the only bottle that I've ever seen. And they're all single barrels that are for the most part, right, Jerry?
Yeah.
So I'll never ever see another bottle. Probably, and I should have bought it anyway. But
that's kind of sad.
Yeah. So, at any rate, it's really good stuff. And the Belize rum, I remember Jerry. I remember trying it, but that's great. That's great stuff. That's really good.
Yeah, it made fantastic, mixed drinks. But I drank it straight, and I was thrilled with how tasty it was. And again, like if I drink something now, it's going to be special and worth it and a special occasion and all that. I felt it important to be able to go and be able to pick up something there made locally. You can tell it was crafted. It was legitimately a Belizean product. And they were very proud of it. I'm like, yep, that's got to be the one I buy. I didn't really buy much anything else on that trip. I bought a bottle of Belizean rum and I bought a bottle of cashew wine. Those are the two things I bought.
Okay.
So
yeah, I'm a big fan of wine. So, but it would be nice to. You got some really crap rums out there. I mean, there's if you being in the Marine Corps, I'm sure you know a lot about Captain Morgan or Sailor Jerry. Things like that. Just
Sailor Jerry, for what it's worth, is not terrible.
It's not.
I've had my night on it. I don't drink it anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I've had a lot. So I used to live with a guy that was he was in the Army National Guard, and if the Marines drink anything like the National Guard do, I would imagine you're drinking a lot of cheap shit. And so it's good that you were able to find some good rum out there, because cheap shit is definitely out there.
Well, first cruise we went on when my 17-year-old was turning 2 on the ship, we went to the Grand Cayman. We went to Senior Frogs. It's not, a yard. Went downstairs and we're like, hey, let's go into the little gift shop across the way. We walk in and a couple of people were walking out. Lady goes, yeah, we got samples in the back wall if you want to go try some Tortuga rum. Like, all right, go try some Tortuga rum. Why not? She goes, yeah, you can fill up your yards if you want.
Mm-hmm.
Just trying to get rid of it.
So we filled up our yards with Tortuga rum. I think I drank probably a yard and a half of Tortuga rum. It was good.
And then you woke up the next day and didn't remember a whole lot.
Senor Frogs down there is insane.
Insane.
We went, I don't know, shit, this would have been, I think it was about 10 years, about 10 years ago now. It was me, my mom, my sister, and now my wife. We went and we were getting the yards of whatever the hell, margaritas or whatever the hell they were pouring in those damn plastic yard. And then they get out, obviously music's going, everyone's having a party, and they get on the microphone and said, free shots. And they started a Congo line. My mom heard free shirts. So, obviously, my sister's 4 years younger than me. The wife's a year younger than me. So the three of us get up like, yeah, free shots. So we get in this Congo line. My mom's going through, and they're just pouring shot like out of the bottle into our mouths. And we go through the kitchen.
No shirts.
Going through the kitchen, and they had like the platters of food that people ordered. And I'm just grabbing taquitos and whatever else is off it. And they're like, yeah, whatever. At the end of it, Mom goes, all right, we had all these drinks. Where's our free shirts? I go, what you talked about free shirts? She goes, they said free shirts. I go, no, they said free shots. That's why you drank like 15 shots going through this Congo line. She goes, oh, well, I want a free shirt. I go, what the fuck? Like, I had like I said, about 10, 15 shots of just them pouring whatever in there, plus whatever food I grabbed off the line that was going to people's food, like tables. And it's just a giant party there. It is, I don't know if I could do it again.
Well, we went in that trip. We were like, we really need to eat, because we did that on an empty stomach. So we're like, where's there to eat? So we walked down the road a little bit, and it's already hitting us pretty hard. And we're like, McDonald's? No, not McDonald's. Not McDonald's. McDonald's. It was oxtail and sticky rice and plantain. It was the best friggin' food I've ever had in my life.
That sounds fantastic.
And I was like, this food is so freaking good. I just screwed up my computer. Anyway, I was so hammered. And I'm sitting there
So
drinking Octo
back
for the first time. It's good.
back to the Tortuga rum. Was it made from real Tortugas?
I don't. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what Tortuga is. Tortuga turtle. I
Turtle.
don't even know what Tortuga means. I don't know.
Turtle. It means turtle.
It means turtle. Okay.
It means turtle.
All I know is it was sweet. It was very clean tasting. The pineapple or coconut one were off the charts, but we drank a lot of it in a very short time.
Oh yeah.
After we got done eating, I told my wife, I'm like, I'm going back to the boat, and she stayed out with her brother and his girlfriend at the time. They stayed on shore for a little bit longer, then came back. I went right to bed. I'm like, I just drank probably 18 shots worth of rum over the course of an hour, maybe more.
Yeah.
So,
No,
so
God,
going back to Marine Corps, what was your drink of choice in the Marine Corps?
To be fair, I really didn't drink that much, but I really liked tequila. Tequila was my And then when I turned 21, they ordered a bunch of moose farts.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Beefeater's gin, Jack Daniels, and Jim Beam. That was terrible.
We call that
Paul's a
Four
big
Horsemen.
fan of Jim Beam, so he will argue that point with you all day long. But I drank a lot of Boone's Farm when I was that age, a lot of Boone's Farm.
Yeah,
But the tequila has been something that I've had to find an appreciation for in my older age, and there are some really good tequilas out there. Some really good tequilas, and
Yeah.
we've had the pleasure of drinking some really good tequilas on this show. And I just got to say for anybody that might be listening that doesn't know, definitely explore that avenue because there's some really shitty ones, but there's some really good ones.
Oh yeah.
I think
I've never tried the higher end tequila. I've always been kind of stuck on the lower end. I really want to get like Rojo. What are they? Not Rojo. What's the higher end ones on the tier on the scale?
Oh,
you talking
shit.
about Anejos.
Yeah.
Yeah, the aged ones.
Yeah. I really want to because I've smelled them. I've tasted just little tiny fractions of what could be, and I always thought I always actually liked those tequilas more, but I've never sat back and sort of sipped one, like I would a glass of bourbon or whiskey. I've never done that.
make sure you get additive free. I mean, you of all people would know that with how you take care of your products. Look for additive free rums, additive free tequilas, because then they're not putting in that bullshit, and you're actually tasting, what's meant to be indulged.
Yeah. Yeah. And Yeho, yeah. I was in my mind after you said that. I'm sitting here cycling through what I knew. Yeah, the Añejos. Well, there was a comedy host called Phil Hendry, who was both the caller and the host at the same time, and it was all skit comedy, but he'd fool people all the time, and he would sit there and talk about his love for tequila, but he'd buy like a $500 bottle of tequila. Like he loved really good, expensive, really clean, tasty tequila. And I was like, man, I really wish I had the ability to enjoy that, to be able to look back and say, I'd really like to try this and experience this. Because I don't drink to get drunk anymore. I want to drink it and enjoy it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, you can get fabulous tequila for like $80. I mean, you can get damn good tequila for $80. I mean,
That one I just put into the private chat. You can get their El Tesoro. You can get their you got the Añejo is like $104, but the Reposado and Blanco. So the Reposado is like $45. The Blanco is a little bit less than that. And the presentation is great. The bottle is awesome. The actual juice in the bottle is I mean, it's fantastic. The Reposado, I remember it tasted like it had uh, um, lime already added to it. And it
Interesting.
doesn't, but it tastes like it does. And you can drink that straight. The añejo, I've got that upstairs. Like I said, it's $104, and I rarely get into it. But it's really really good. They make some really good stuff. I saw them for the first time on Moonshiners,
Uh-huh.
and so I went out and looked for the bottle, and yep, that's it right there. That the añejo. Oh, it's no, well, the one I have.
Did you have the extra añejo?
I think I've got the
Or
extra
did you?
añejo.
They
Yeah.
also, I think they also do finishes in bourbon barrels, where they finish it in. I think they have one in like a Booker's barrel, Four Roses barrels, and those I think are upwards of like 100 something.
Yeah, that one's showing $134, $135 now for that extra añejo. It's got the blue label on it. It was 104 when I bought it, but the the Blanco's 47 according to I guess this is that's in Sarasota. The Reposado right there with that red label, that's the first one I ever bought. Now it was 40 something bucks at that time. That was years
That's
ago.
also Total Wine's website, which we
well,
all know Total Wine puts a little padding on it for themselves.
Yeah, of course.
Wine.
Yeah.
It's good stuff though. I mean, you won't regret spending the money for the bottle. It's really good. And that's saying a lot because I've drank a lot of really shitty tequila, a lot of really shitty vodka in my younger days. That's some good stuff. I really like it.
Well, the funny thing is, like, you can buy straight alcohol with Everclear, but you know what Everclear is good for?
Stripping paint,
infusing with
fires.
Infusing with herbs, making.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna say the only thing I use Everclear for is making bitters.
Say when
you can't drink it. You just gotta,
when I was
my life.
When I was deep into growing and making hot sauce and growing peppers and stuff, use that stuff to make some hot tinctures. That
was though, Jerry. You're not doing that anymore.
I haven't set up the garden here. We moved in here, what is it, 4 years ago now? I set up a garden, and then what was it, 2 years ago? About 2 years ago, we had a hurricane come through, and they just wiped everything out. So I just haven't started up. But usually I start up around Thanksgiving with seeds inside. So I think I'm going to start it up again. I don't know. The place we were renting before this, I had like 60 to 70 different plants with peppers, cucumbers, tomato, like everything. And just thinking about trying to start over, just kind of like, it's like, fuck this. Like, I just want to have that garden again. But so I think I'm going to start it this year around Thanksgiving, Christmas time, like I typically do. And then slowly grow up because, if you've ever had a garden, it's not cheap to start everything out. So, but yeah, I was using that Everclear to do this tinctures and trying to kill everyone that I can with some hot sauce and having fun with it.
I'll tell you what, though, that Everclear, when I was in college at the hockey house, we would put Everclear, blue Curacao, and some Kool-Aid and make some pool water, and that shit would go a long way.
Yeah, I mean, you can do all sorts of stuff with it. But I have a guy that makes herbal tinctures, and he goes through a gallon of Everclear a month, you know? So he's...
The ATF's looking at him like, what the fuck is he doing?
You know, I mean, he's a licensed physician. So, but it's one of those avenues that you can kind of mess up. But again, like COVID, finding the value in alcohol, there's quite a few things that you can use alcohol for that are medicinal. And I mean, and it's good to have it around. In fact, if there's an apocalypse, what's one of the things that you want to have? A lot of freaking alcohol.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
A lot of.
Yeah, it's money, right? It's in times that the world goes tits up, it's money, it's medicine, it's
barter.
recreation. You can barter
everything.
all kinds of, it's all kinds of things. And that's traditionally what's been used as one of the main currencies in this country pre-prohibition, right? And we like to think that we're all civilized now, and yeah, we've got a greater civilization. But what happens when that crumbles?
Sure.
Right? I've been watching a lot of Walking Dead lately. My wife had never seen it, and so we've been powering through that shit. And
Right.
I don't think that we have to worry about zombies, but
at least not yet. Have you seen the former president? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I feel like we already got some zombies walking around right
that's
now.
right.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I have seen reports of a fungus that's been taking over spiders, and it basically.
So we got zombie spiders going on.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is. It's The Last of Us.
I didn't hate spiders enough.
It's The Last of Us without the woke bullshit, right?
Yeah.
So, that's
what a shame that they screwed that up so bad. That game.
No
I
kidding.
watched that game in the movie format, just the cutscenes and stuff. I watched that, and it was powerful.
Oh, it's an amazing game. It's amazing.
Freaking screwed it up so bad.
Yeah. Well, they've done that with it. They did it with Marvel too. And I grew up a comic book nerd. I still am. I have an app that lets me read Marvel comic books on my phone. And they fucked up all the Marvel movies too with that woke bullshit. I just, what? I'm a conservative libertarian. So libertarian is the key word here. Let people live how they want to live, but quit shoving it down our throats in every aspect of our culture. Let us have I watch movies to escape real life. Don't shove all this crap down my throat in a movie or a TV show. Right. I want to watch it to escape. You don't need to throw all the bullshit in there. So the same is true with that, The Last of Us. They really screwed that up. And even the showrunners admitted, hey, we shouldn't have done this. And so the next season is gonna there's a girl that did you watch the show?
I watched a few episodes and I just gave up on it.
Okay,
that girl was insufferable, man.
So, yeah, she is. But in the second season, there's another girl that shows up, and the other girl that shows up was in Justified,
right?
And she was in well, anyway, she was in Justified, and she ends up being a protagonist or an antagonist in the second season. Well, the show is going to center around her instead of the girl from Game of Thrones from the first two seasons.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It's Pedro Pascal, who I used to really like as an actor, and now he's just an insufferable twat. And I don't know.
I loved him in that Nick Cage movie, and then ever since then, it was like just completely downhill.
Yeah. It's equal. Man, the what's the movie with Denzel Washington? Where he plays the guy who helps people.
Equalizer?
Thank you. I thought he was great in Equalizer too, Pedro Pascal. I thought he was fantastic. But he's a prototypical Hollywood nitwit.
Yep.
And thankfully there's some good guys that are starting to show they're starting to come out of the woodwork a little bit. That are, there's a couple guys in Hollywood that have come out and said a quarter of the people in Hollywood are actually conservative, but you would never know because if they need to protect their jobs.
They're
That's
too
right.
afraid. Too afraid to step forward and show they're real,
Yeah.
Afraid to get blacklisted.
What was that?
They're afraid to get blacklisted.
Yeah. Well, you can kind of see that it's possible to escape it when you see it someone like Chris Pratt, right?
Yeah, they're trying to cancel him now because of what he said about Charlie Kirk, which really is trying to get him fired from Marvel.
He came out last year wearing a shirt with an American flag on it that said something like "We the People" or something like that, and they've been trying to cancel him since.
Yeah,
it's fucking ridiculous.
But then you got guys like I can't remember. He was the bad guy in Walking Tall with The Rock. I can't remember his name. He's got blonde hair, and he's a very conservative Christian
Yeah,
actor.
Yeah,
Yeah, and he got blacklisted for a while, and now he's making a resurgence because people are seeing. He's like, well, I'm just not going to do this, regardless of what you think or say. And he's starting to make a comeback, which is awesome. I love that. But yeah, it's awful. It's awful. I mean, whatever. You got a lot to say about it. Nobody wants to listen. We can talk about it amongst ourselves all we want to, but it's we're preaching to the choir. It's not making a difference. People are, but this Charlie Kirk thing is really, I've seen a lot of folks just today that are people that were on the other side of the aisle that are coming out and saying, like Patrick Mahomes, which he is a Christian man, but he's very high profile. And he even came out and said, to celebrate this man's death is absolutely disgusting, and so people like that, when they come out and say things like that, that does help. So,
yeah. Yeah, no, I agree, man. I think the whole thing is tragic. Then you got the guy, white hat, white shirt, Frank Turek, which is a huge friend of Charlie Kirk, and he's standing near the stage. They're like, well, he was signaling. I'm like, that man was one of the Charlie Kirk's closest friends, one of his closest friends and allies. There's a lot that's conspiracy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because we just went through this on our other podcast.
No.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
There's a lot because that guy, I know he was Charlie's best buddy, but he was standing next to the guy that was at Trump's fatal, not fatal, but the shot in his ear. And then the other guy, there's a lot. We don't need to get into on this podcast, but there's a lot of
you can head on over to Spirits and Secrets, and I'm not sure when that episode is dropping, but these two fine gentlemen, Adam and Paul, I believe, just recorded an episode.
We did. That'll come out Wednesday.
So there's a little plug there for you guys.
Not to get overly religious, and that's not the point, but the serpent in the garden told Eve 95% of the truth.
Right.
But the 5% that was a lie made the whole thing a lie.
That's right. That's
That's
right.
kind of how things are today, right? I mean, you can see that there's quite a bit that's pretty straightforward, but that 5% sometimes makes everything feel very, very bad.
And the problem is that we focus on the 5%, and that's a flaw in society,
Well, because we don't trust anybody anymore, right?
And how can we?
The
problem is, how can we? So
to circle back to Jen Psaki, to circle back, I don't like her, by the way. To circle back, the food, the medicine, all of it, it's systemic and systematic control. They feed you bad food. They make you get on their medicine. They dump you down with crap in the water. And at the end of the day, you're more willing to accept the crap that they feed you over the airwaves. Once you start breaking that cycle, once you start recognizing that your food ain't so great, that you're able to provide some better nutrition for yourself, you don't get on the pharmaceutical for your high blood pressure, which I am on a high blood pressure med.
Same.
But you can get off those things. You become less willing to accept that you don't need side effects, right? You don't need to have the side effect in your life in order to be able to manage the other things. Once you're able to break free from that, you're able to do a whole bunch of very exciting things. Again, it's hard to break free from that because that's what we're programmed to believe. That's what we're programmed to do.
And that's why we like your refreshing stance on ingredients and the products that you're putting out. And that's why I'm about to place my order for a few of your products as well, because we like what you're doing, and I think you're doing it right, and I hope other brands take notice and fall in line.
100%.
I'm going to tell you right now, the Fur and the Hide, highly recommend you guys talk to him. He's a cool dude. He has a really interesting way of thinking about things. We Bearded Texan Discord on Friday night. We're sometimes on there for 6 hours talking about various stuff, but a lot of us in there are like better ingredients, better stuff for our faces, better stuff for our families. There's a lot of people that actually really believe in that. Not better ingredients, better pizza. I know that's what you're thinking. I saw it. That's what you were thinking, wasn't it?
I thought it, yeah.
I used to work for Papa John's when I was in Hawaii. I used to deliver pizza for them. So, but no, I mean, I think you're starting to see a resurgence of people taking better control over the things that they want to have in their body or on their body. And it's refreshing. It's really refreshing to see. There's a long way that we have to go. Because, again, there's a lot of companies that start up that are just white labeling crap, you know? And most of the stuff it's a dime a dozen. We got to get past that. We got to start thinking bigger. So,
Absolutely.
there's my soapbox.
We're behind you. We like what you're doing, and we will support you.
I appreciate that, guys.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So as we're wrapping up, you got to give us your plugs, your website, social handles, anything else you want to let our listeners know. And then you said you were down in like the Tampa Bay area. Is there any events or pop-ups that you're going to be attending anytime soon?
Yeah, so September 19th, there is a brewery locally. The name is escaping me right now. I'll think of it. Motorworks Brewing. We're going to be there on the 19th. There's a pop-up in Parrish, an outdoor market that we're doing on the 20th. And then at Motorworks in the middle of October, I think it's the third weekend of October. Hold on, let me pull up my calendar. Third weekend of October is something called the Kelttoberfest. That's October 18th at Motorworks Brewery in Bradenton. They have a 10-hour-long festival with Celtic metal bands. We're going to be, my company's going to be there. My wife's Tumblr company's going to be there. We're going to do a very special Guinness inspired beard oil. I found a really nice, clean Guinness profile. Obviously, it's not the real deal, but you can only do so much. And we're going to be selling that special at the event. It may go on the website, but we're constantly building new things. We're going to be working on a women's line that features retinol. I've had a couple of customers whose my beard butter, their wives use it for whatever their problems are, and they're using that as opposed to the $90 Clinique crap, and they're not buying the $90 Clinique crap anymore. So I just bought some retinol. I'm going to start making retinol infused butters for the ladies. We're going to be working on the eczema oil just so we have an oil to go along with the salve. So we're constantly trying to innovate and get better. We have the limb loss. We have the limb loss boss. This is Coda. He's almost a 4-month-old Australian Shepherd. So
I'm waving at the dog.
Coda.
Waved at the dog.
Oh my
4
God.
months. That's a big boy for 4 months.
What was that?
That's a big boy for 4 months.
Yeah, he'll be about 65 pounds, 60 pounds. We're constantly trying to make something better to provide more diverse product while not spending a ton of money out of our pockets to make it happen. Our goal is to be able to enter into different avenues with different customers to mainly get them to see that there's better ways to do things. Obviously, the beard oil is a big passion now, but if I can get 5 people a month to switch to natural deodorant, especially for the ladies, those might be 5 women that never get breast cancer.
Yeah.
So that's a huge deal for me. that's our passion project, along with the salve, SALVE. Uh, again, so just a salve is something like that's got like an oily but waxy consistency. So if you look at petroleum jelly, you can almost look at that as being a salve, right? But a salve is meant to dissolve. So your skin is going to absorb the salve, whereas petroleum jelly, you really don't absorb it. So, yeah. Other than that, man, we're just, I'm going to do the Ybor City Cigar Festival in December. I'll be one of the only non-cigar vendors there. I have to come up with about 5 or 6 really good tobacco style and cognac. I have a good cognac I just got in. We're gonna make a cognac oil.
Nice.
There's some stuff we're gonna be working on that should be pretty cool for that event. But I'll be one of the only vendors there besides food trucks that are not cigars. So hoping that is a worthwhile event. And then next year, Buckeye Beard Battle in September of next year. And then we're going to hope to start getting into some other events. I'm a member of the Renegade Beard Club, even though I'm not overly active. But I'm sponsoring an event up in New York with the not Renegade. There's Renegade and who's the other big one? I'm losing my mind. Anyway, not Renegade. So I've been sponsoring some various events across the country, sending some oils up and donating to money to some causes. Just, to help with some charitable, worthwhile organizations for veterans, especially. But other than that, just trying to take one day at a time and engage with good guys like you that care about the community and, releasing good content that's informative, which is cool. So.
Well, we try.
Yeah.
We try. And, I appreciate you joining us today, Jacob. It's been a lot of fun, and very informative hearing what the care that you put into your products. We definitely don't want to promote something that's garbage, so it's nice to hear that you're committed to not putting anything out that's garbage. Really enjoyed your product and looking forward to trying more of them. But I think that brings us to the conclusion of another episode of Bourbon Beards and Belvederes. As always, go ahead, Jerry. Or Jacob, I'm sorry. What did you say?
I was gonna say I had a lot of fun, guys. I really enjoyed talking to you guys. Like,
Yeah,
I wasn't sure what I was going to step into by talking to, by being on the show. But I really appreciated it. And I see, I really hope that you guys would maybe cross over a little bit with some of the other reviewers and maybe get a couple of you guys join a couple of Facebook groups, the Texas Bearded Community. There's a lot of great guys on there. There's a huge segment of those guys that love cigars and love bourbon, and they would love your guys' shows. There's a lot of commonality that I'm seeing.
Yeah, we'll touch bases after this,
sure.
And we'll get all those groups and different people that you've talked about. If we're not following them or not in those groups, we'll definitely jump in those because that's definitely something that we like to do is talk to not only whether it's you with the beard company or Rick from West Tampa or someone from a whiskey group. We like to bring the community in and see what they think about it. So yeah, we'll touch bases after this and see if we could bring some of them on here too as well.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure. Well, especially like the bearded Texan. That dude smokes 3 or 4 cigars a day. Like, he is a huge aficionado. So, like, he would be, I mean, if you guys want to have a good cigar talk, he would be a great one. My buddy Chris from Barrel and Binder, I can almost guarantee he would love to get on here and talk with you. He did a really comprehensive review of the West Tampa cigars. I'm sure you'd enjoy having him on. You would have a blast between the tobacco and the discussion of whiskeys and bourbons and stuff like that. I guarantee you guys would have a great time with him.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
We'll have to reach out, see if we could get them on.
For sure.
And I'll get you guys in touch with Mike from Fur and the Hide.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Awesome guy.
Well, that wraps up another episode of Bourbon Beards and Belvederes. As always, make sure to support your veterans and active duty military, first responders. Those guys and gals, they're putting everything on the line for us. The least we can do is support them, and make sure that they know that they're appreciated, and support children in general. The world is insane. And we need to make sure that the most vulnerable amongst us are protected and watched out for. The world just seems to keep getting crazier and crazier. So, just for me personally, let's just look out for each other. We don't need to be at each other's throats all the time, especially just for differing opinions. Let's try to be better to each other. As always, thank you to our guest. It's been great having you on and hearing about your products. And I'm looking forward to trying more of those. To anybody listening, if you're curious, make sure to check these products out. What we've tried so far has been great, and expect nothing less of the products that we have yet to try, but will try.
Yeah, the website is Bain Blends, BainBlends.com. And then if I'm not mistaken, all the socials are also at BainBlends as well. Bain Blends.
You got it.
So check them out there. Check out the website. Grab some fantastic products, especially this salve. It has worked wonders. I will say that.
Awesome.
Hey, real quick, if you put that salve on your feet, make sure you get like a nighttime, like a sock that you can put your feet in while you're wearing it. Okay.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Thank you for that. Yeah. Until next week. Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Jacob.
Appreciate it.
Bourbon Beards and Belvederes is produced by Adam Bolden, Paul Rousseau, and Jerry Ullman. Editing by Adam Bolden. Music by Ryan Johnson. You can find the links to all our social media accounts on our website at bourbonbeardsandbelvederes.com. As always, enjoy your bourbon and cigars responsibly. Cheers.